I don't think about who's going to go in and see the picture. I just get these ideas and start going to work. And then this is the most horrendous time, is releasing the picture and seeing what people say. And it's a torture sometimes. There's never been a film of mine anyway that everyone likes. So people seem to be violently divided, and it's just the way it is. And then some time goes by, and then the film seems to have a different. It's regarded differently, 6 months later or a year later. But when they first see it film, it's many strange reactions.
Sometimes it takes 20 years, as is the case with the movie we're going to watch today, Twin Peaks Firewalk with Me.
Yes.
This movie didn't divide critics so much as they fucking hated it. People hated it.
I remembered nothing about it when it came out, except there was the promise of nudity, and that was why I watched it.
That's what introduced me to the world of David Lynch as well. So we're going to watch it together. You pause it right when... You never know exactly which copies people have, which titles are ahead of it, because this is the Criterion Collection, but you're watching a video that doesn't have that credit. So just go right into the movie, start the movie, and when it pause it right when Francis, how do you think it pronounces? Boyu? I think that's right, because it's French.
I think it's Francis Boy Guys.
When Francis Bowie, yes, Beetlejuice, when Francis Beetlejuice Presents pops up, pause it right there. And then we'll count down from 3. Pete, I wanted very badly to create a button I could push that would be me backwards talking the 3, 2, 1 countdown.
Oh, that would have been pretty good.
I just was never going to figure out how to do it.
Wouldn't that just be 1, 2, 3?
No. Well, fine. I hate you so much sometimes. This is going to be a 2-hour, 15-minute watch, so just watch yourself here.
Oh, no. No, not 2 hours plus.
All right, we're going to count down from 3 and hit play. And 3, 2, 1, play. All right. Now, we're going to listen to this one, too, because sound is important to David Lynch.
Oh, yeah?
A film by David Lynch.
Hey, since you know I like having 3 people at these things, right?
Yeah.
Look who my special guest is this time.
Doctor Strange. Okay.
Hello, Bryan. I shall enjoy this movie with you. So here's what I know.
Okay.
I know that Laura Palmer is murdered, and Dale Cooper comes to town to check it out. And it turns out that Leland Palmer, her father, is the killer, but really he's possessed by a spirit, a bad spirit. And that's what I know. And Cooper gets sucked into another dimension at the end.
Yes.
So this is the prequel.
This is the prequel, and it made everybody very angry because Twin Peaks had just gone off the air with a lot of cliffhangers, purposely a ton of cliffhangers at the end of season 2. This doesn't pay off any of them. And
Ooh, Heather Graham's in this.
When people heard that there was going to be
Chris Isaac,
a Twin Peaks movie, they thought, great, I'll get these answers.
Moira Kelly.
What are we doing?
These are all people I like.
I hate you so much. Anyway, people thought they would get answers, and for not the last time in his Twin Peaks career, David Lynch says, I'm not giving you any fucking thing you think you want.
I can't tell, because I think it's great, and I really respect the shit out of that, but I can't tell if he's just insufferable or it's a real thing to admire.
This was supposed to be the first of 3 movies. Had this been a success, people would have gotten their sequels. I'm not saying they would have gotten answers, but they would have probably gotten a lot of what The Return became. And 25 years later, we get The Return, and he knows with this one, he just wanted to concentrate on the Laura Palmer character because he loved the character and he wanted to see her in the world. In the Return, he knew you can't, the whole point is you can't go home again. He knew that Twin Peaks shouldn't exist in 2017. So what does Twin Peaks look like in 2017? It exists in the 90s, and he knows that. So he knows better than the viewer what they need, even if they want fun Dale Cooper running around this town. That's not what you can't do it again. Now let's see if you can pick out what David Lynch thinks of his time on television from this opening.
Okay.
So here's a television.
They're static. You don't see that anymore.
Oh, I don't think he enjoyed his time on television very much.
What was that, a bat or an axe?
Yep, it was a battle axe.
Now, did the TV have anything to do with Twin Peaks, the original?
Did what?
Did, like the television, like in Poltergeist, it was a thing. Did the TV have any symbolism in Twin Peaks?
Maybe.
Okay.
Here's the thing about Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. You can ask me a million questions. I can give you my interpretation, but I cannot give you the answers.
Okay. There's a school bus full of people being arrested.
This is Agent Chet Desmond.
Who's that?
Chris Isaac. So
I like Chris Isaac.
originally written for Kiefer Sutherland. Kiefer Sutherland's coming up. Originally written for Kyle MacLachlan. Did not want to make this movie. A lot of the cast was angry about the way David Lynch abandoned season 2 of Twin Peaks and how it went off a cliff.
Okay.
He eventually returned to do a small part in the movie, but they had to rework this with a different.
So this was meant to be Dale Cooper?
This would have been different, but
Oh.
Teresa Banks is a character that's talked about in Twin Peaks because Bob, the killer, kills Teresa Banks a year before Laura Palmer's murdered. He's a serial killer.
Oh, okay. Was he still Leland Palmer?
Yes.
Okay. Good old Chris Isaac.
Nobody knows exactly what Bob is. I have a theory.
He's the carpenter.
At one point, I'm not going to do your jokes today. I don't
It's
understand
not.
what it means.
Wasn't he just the
Oh.
guy who was he was the carpenter on set whose reflection was caught?
He was a set designer.
Oh, so that's the same thing.
So, it's the problem. He made me lose my place.
This is a cool airplane that's coming in, by the way.
There's Kiefer Sutherland. Kiefer Sutherland is there because without Dale Cooper, it'd be weird to have Chris Isaac just walking around being alone because you understand Dale Cooper. Nobody knows anything about Chris Isaac. It's Chet Desmond. So he has someone to play off of.
Oh, okay.
Now, when I watched this the first time, this scene was so fucking weird that I just couldn't understand any of it.
Why? What is
He's
it?
going
then?
to introduce Chet Desmond to this woman named Lil.
Lil?
Here, his surprise, Lil. No, watch Lil here. This is my first David Lynch experience.
What?
It's all going to make sense because it's all sending coded messages. And in the car, Chet Desmond is going to explain to Kiefer Sutherland what everything meant. It's David Lynch saying, look at everything, interpret it, look for meaning in everything. That's what he's literally saying to the audience.
But hasn't he said that whatever you take it for, that's the meaning of it?
But yeah, how does that differentiate from what I just said? Look
Because-
for what you look for it. So
I'm
he's
not
going to
listening.
explain.
Yeah.
Remember, Lil's wearing a sour face.
What do you mean?
Her face had a sour look on it.
She's got that sourpuss
They
face.
have problems with the local authorities. Not going to be receptive to the FBI. Both eyes blinking means trouble higher up. The eye is the local authority. Sheriff and a deputy be my guess.
So
You notice she had one hand in her pocket,
Yeah.
which means they're hiding something.
the other one's
The other
making a
hand
peace
made into
sign.
a fist, which means they're going to be belligerent. Lil was walking in place, which means there's going to be a lot of legwork.
So everything meant something, but it looks so ridiculous, which is, I think, just his way of saying, it could be some weird shit. It all has meaning.
Why? It has meaning like inside the framework of the story itself,
Yeah.
too? Okay. Because that was weird. She's out there dancing and blinking. And
It's the most in your face that Lynch has ever been about. Like, yeah, we do weird crap here, but it's not just done to be weird.
Why does Chris Isaac know all of this, though?
Because he works on the Blue Rose Task Force,
The
which is
heck is that?
it's what he won't tell Kiefer Sutherland about now. We don't learn what it is until the return. But basically, without spoiling the return,
Okay.
Chet Desmond, Agent Chester Desmond, Agent Dale Cooper, and Agent Philip Jeffries, played by David Bowie in this movie and played by a tea kettle in return. They all work for David Lynch's character on the special task force for unexplained phenomena. So it's basically like the X-Files before the X-Files.
Now,
There's
Lil.
FBI agents that work in
Wait, no. When did this come out?
92.
I thought X Files was right.
Twin Peaks started in
94.
1990.
Yeah, 94. You're right. Okay. So Lil had a blue rose in her
Yes.
outfit too.
And he wouldn't answer what that was, but we learn what it is in the return. Now,
But does
this-
that mean she's a member?
I don't know. No.
Okay.
This town Deer Meadow is like a bizarro Twin Peaks. You watch Chet Desmond for the first 25 minutes of this movie, go through a lot of kind of what Dale Cooper does in the TV show, except these people are not the fun, quirky Twin Peaks characters. These are belligerent, horrible people at this police station. There's no Sheriff Truman that's going to be helpful and nice to him and inviting.
Now, Cooper didn't know any of this. He discovers it, whereas I'm sorry, I keep remembering him as Chris Isaac because that's who I see his beautiful face, and I'm like, ooh, that's Chris Isaac. He's going to be singing at me soon, wailing. Now, anyway, he knew it. He knows this stuff, whereas Cooper didn't, or he has some.
Cooper
insight.
knows. Cooper, what do you think he knows that Cooper doesn't know?
I didn't know that Cooper knew much of anything, really. I thought he was more of a.
They're both showing up to a town with the same amount of information. There's a dead girl found wrapped in plastic.
No, more of the paranormal or the odd.
No, he knew. Cooper knows all this.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Really?
Cooper's never fazed by the fact that a giant just appears and takes his ring. He's never fazed by any of it.
You know what? I just took that as that was Cooper. Like that, he was just his personality. He's all like, all right. He didn't know of it.
He knows.
Okay. I mean, that would make more sense. I like my version better.
You find out in The Return that a lot of things that happen with Dale Cooper were a plan set in place, which interestingly changes Laura Palmer's purpose in the story eventually from just the dead body that he found there to his kind of key to what his big plan is in The Return.
Okay. Chris Isaac just beat up that guy for being a jerk.
There's a deleted scene where Chris Isaac beats the shit out of this guy too. It's pretty great.
He just beats his way through the police force.
90 minutes of deleted scenes that David Lynch put together to form almost a whole nother movie called The Missing Pieces. Most of it is just characters from the TV show getting a scene that don't appear in the movie because it changes the tone of the movie from something dark to something more like the TV show. And that's not what he wanted to focus on. And there's a couple really good scenes, though, that I think they shouldn't have cut.
Yeah? Like what?
There's a great scene. Laura's doomed. She knows it. The movie's about the last 7 days of her life. And there's this running theme about angels and how her angel has abandoned her and she's never going to get saved by the angels. And there's this really sweet moment where Donna's father, Donna's her best friend, played by Larry Flynn Boyle on the show, played by Moira Kelly here. I like Moira Kelly better, to be completely honest with you.
Me too.
Better in this movie than Donna Hayward was in the show. Her father says something really sweet to Laura about how her angel will return. It was actually like a really nice moment, and I wish they hadn't cut that. It was kind of beautiful.
But her angel doesn't return.
It does in the end. I don't know why you would assume that it doesn't. You've now jumped to the very last scene of the movie.
Oh, yeah?
Which is why I think this movie's a more hopeful movie than people give it credit for, even though it's horrific.
All right. But public perception was poor and against yours, but now it's back to your view.
People now like this movie, and I think partially because The Return makes it so important. See, this is like the anti-Twin Peaks, this town.
Yeah, they're all mean.
Yes.
And they're not interesting.
Cooper shows up. Exactly. Cooper shows up, and this is something that's paid back later.
Cable bend steel.
If they'd had the fight scene, it opens with him bending the steel, and then Chris Isaac just beats the shit out of him, or Kiefer Sutherland just stands there watching them because he knows he's going to win. It ends with Chris Isaac bending the steel in his face. It's pretty great.
That was the scene that was cut.
I don't know why they cut it. It was pretty great.
That cop got beat up. They keep showing him.
Kiefer Sutherland said that his career was in a rough spot at this point in time, and he was just really happy that David Lynch even wanted him in his movie.
So, what happened? He had all that Young Guns heat coming off of him.
That was 5 years before this.
Yeah, but that should have been timeless. All right.
There's Teresa Banks, who
is dead.
They're basically going to end up working the same case, Desmond and Cooper. Because this is very much a reenactment of what happens at the beginning of Twin Peaks, where they're going to find a letter under her finger, just like they did in
Twin Peaks.
And killed the same way, wrapped in plastic and shoved down the river.
Okay.
And they have a connection that the story's going to get into.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I was trying to get the timeline straight in my head. So right now she's a Jane Doe still.
And this is why this town is interesting to me, this Deer Meadow. No, they know it's Teresa Banks. The town doesn't give a shit about her. Whereas the whole purpose of the TV show Twin Peaks is that the town is overwhelmed when Laura dies because the community cares about each other so much. This is like the dark reflection of Twin Peaks, this Deer Meadow.
Oh,
where she's just some girl. They don't give a shit.
Okay. No, because Lynch always has those dualities. And now I see. So what would the opposite be? Is there a happy underbelly then? Like, that would be the opposite.
I guess that would be the opposite.
I'm going to wait and find out.
We never see it if there is.
Oh. Spoiler alert.
So they know that she was wearing a ring. This ring becomes a very important part of both this movie and The Return. And there are a lot of theories as to what this ring really does.
It is one of those rings that makes Captain Planet a person.
In this movie, it appears to be a way to stop Bob from overtaking you. Because Bob's plan with Laura, he's inhabited Leland and is feeding off his pain and suffering. And the Black Lodge characters are mad at Bob because Bob was one of them. And he's supposed to bring the pain and suffering back for them to all enjoy. That's what they feed off of. But he's a selfish bastard, this Bob. So he wants everything for himself. And his goal is to torture Laura and make her life so miserable and then overtake her. But she won't let him in. And the ring stops him. But the ring also, and this happens in this movie, but it's more important in The Return, it also seems to be a gateway to the Black Lodge. Because when people die wearing that ring, they pop up in the lodge.
Uh-huh.
So their souls are there.
How does the ring get transferred around?
Great questions.
Oh, okay.
It can pass. Apparently, it can pass from the room to the reality because it happens slightly in this movie, but it definitely happens in The Return, where Dale Cooper gets the ring passed to him from the Black Lodge into reality. So it seems to be something that can traverse both worlds.
Huh. So that was pretty gross, by the way, ripping her fingernail off. I hate that. I hate that so much in all body horror movies. Ugh. So there's letters underneath her fingernails. I
Yes.
don't remember what that means from Twin Peaks.
There was a letter under her fingernail too.
Did we ever figure out why?
I think it was going to end up spelling Robert.
Oh, Bob.
Yeah. Now, there are in our diners a famous place at Twin Peaks. We're at Hep's. This weird, seedy, dark hellhole in Deer Meadow.
I'm trying to think of what the opposite letter of R would be.
Backwards R.
Backwards R. It should be the L and L.
Electricity. This waitress is incredible. She's one of my favorite characters in all of Twin Peaks. She suffers no fools and doesn't give a shit about anything.
Okay. I like those characters.
Federal Bureau of Investigation. Special Agent Chet Desmond.
Yeah, you tell him, Chris Isaac. You're Chet Desmond.
So the theories about what Bob is, the TV show kind of lets Leland off the hook a lot.
What do you mean? Leland, just saying that he was
It's
not...
Bob. It's not her father doing this. This movie takes it back to, no, this abuse was coming from her father, and Bob had been living inside him for a long time. The way that Albert, Dale's partner from the FBI, Miguel Ferrer,
Yeah.
the way he describes it after the whole Bob thing runs its course after the whole Leland thing runs its course in the TV show is perhaps Bob is just the evil that men do. And that's the way I like to look at it. That it's not letting Leland off the hook. Leland did these things. That Bob was this horrible thing inside of him, but that doesn't mean it was something that possessed him that was an otherworldly thing. Now, I know that's how we see it interpreted here, but the TV show lets Leland off the hook a lot for his abuse, and the movie does not.
That's what lets Bob in is what you are. You're evil, your own internal.
And it's possible to fight it off because Laura never lets him in. And he has been working for years on breaking her.
But she also had the ring.
She doesn't get the ring until the very last seconds of this movie.
Oh, okay. Oh, and then, because he killed her this year early, so he was torturing her this whole time for years.
She says he's been having me since I was 12. And now she's 18. So for 6 years, she's been dealing with his abuse in the house. But she doesn't know it's her father because she sees Bob's face.
Oh.
So that's something she learns early in this movie and then spends a lot of the movie trying to prove it's either right or wrong because she can't accept it. That her father's the one sneaking through her window and doing this.
Huh. I don't like this movie, Brian.
Oh, it's dark. There's a great moment, and I'll just say it now because I sometimes forget what we're in the moments of doing things. There's this great moment at the end when Laura's about to be murdered, where on one side of her, Leland's face pops up and says, "I always thought you knew it was me." Because she's got the missing pages from her diary where she wrote that Bob has been doing this. And then Bob pops in from the other side and goes, "I never knew you knew it was me." Because she thought, that means Leland thought that she knew he was abusing her.
And then was just acting normal
yes.
around him.
Well, he's in a fugue state a lot of times. There's something wrong with Leland. This woman is great. She's like, "You want to hear our specials? We don't have any."
That is pretty special. Most places I know do have specials. Is she? No. Never mind. I had a thought. It hurt. And then I stopped thinking it.
Now, her describing Teresa Banks is a lot of what Laura Palmer's backstory is too, where she's into drugs. There's something about her that is darker than people know, which is true about Laura Palmer. But the reason Laura Palmer is such an interesting character is that she does Meals on Wheels. Everybody loves her. They think she's the sweetest girl. They don't know about the secret life where she's a prostitute. She's taking drugs. I think it all makes perfect sense though, because she's trying to do these good things to save her doomed soul that she knows is, this world is so horrible around her and so dark. But when she, I think, realizes that her fate is so sealed, she tries to take control of her own demise, which is one of the bleakest, saddest things you can think of. But she's going to drink, do drugs, and just put herself in dangerous situations because at least she's in control of it.
Okay, I can buy that.
It's one of the things I think is so great about her character is that she's trying to find the way to be strong, and it just changes a lot.
It's just coping mechanisms.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine dealing with what she has to deal with. We're about to get the great Harry Dean Stanton.
Who do I keep thinking Harry Dean Stanton is?
Gene Stockwell?
Yeah. That's Harry Dean Stanton. I recognize him from such movies as
Alien?
Blue Velvet.
He's not in Blue Velvet?
Yeah, who was singing in that apartment then?
Gene Stockwell.
Oh, I see. I've done it again, haven't I?
I love Harry Dean Stanton.
Who is he in this movie? He lives in a trailer.
He runs this trailer park, the Fat Trout, which apparently he moves in the 25 years between this movie and in The Return, because he's in The Return, and I don't think it's in the same location, but it's still the Fat Trout trailer park. So I think he up and moved this trailer park.
The whole thing?
I think they just wanted Harry Dean Stanton in it, but they had to figure out a reason he was closer to Twin Peaks.
Now, is this in Oregon? Did we figure that out?
I don't know.
Or, Washington. Where did Twin Peaks take place?
I think
Oregon.
Washington.
One of them. It was Washington.
This can't be that far from Twin Peaks because Leland and Laura both make visits to this town.
Why?
Or at least she was, or Teresa Banks was nearer to Twin Peaks because storyline demands it. She's friends with Laura Palmer.
Okay.
They're in the same sex trade.
Yeah, then they got to be somewhere close by.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think there's like a thriving sex trade in Montana?
I don't know. I'm willing to find out.
There's like 10 people in the entire state, so I don't know how that works.
Well, supply and demand.
I guess, like if I demand something, I can get it supplied to me. By who, Bryan?
I'm not listening to you.
Oh,
I'm trying to educate you on this movie.
they're hanging around talking. They're looking for clues, right?
But they're still drinking their coffee. Twin Peaks staple.
How come Kiefer Sutherland doesn't know how to hold his coffee cup?
He's a nerd.
You can tell by the glasses.
Yeah, he's the smart girl.
Yeah, he's the smart girl in this one. I haven't seen any other glasses, so.
They also cut a scene later where Dale Cooper gets to talk to Kiefer Sutherland's character. I don't know why they cut that either. It seemed kind of important. This is one of those odd things. This character has no lines. This character has no name. This character has no purpose.
This character has an ice pack on an eye.
And she's dirty. And she looks like the mom from Throw Mom Out from the Train, but she's been dead for 3 years.
Yeah, that's exactly how she looks.
But she's not her.
No, she looks like her who's been dead for 3 years.
Yeah, maybe that is what he was going for. But this is that's her entire role.
She pokes her head in and then pokes her head out.
Yeah.
How come Harry Dean Stanton's got a Band-Aid on his head?
I don't know the answers to those questions.
I thought maybe, you see, if I were these detectives, I would have asked that first. Like, what's up with that Band-Aid, buddy?
This telephone pole comes back way more than you'd expect it to.
Does it attack anybody?
I can never explain to you, kind of, I think. I can never explain to you what Lynch's thing with electricity is. I think that's how he thinks evil moves.
Like the gremlin in Gremlins 2?
I've thought this for a long time. I think he hates television, and he loved film. And it's funny, he went and made a TV show, which is kind of anti-television, because the purpose of it was to kind of push back on the disposable violence on television. I'm going to create a character we're never even going to meet, and her death is the most important thing in the world, as opposed to the way most TV shows do it, where people die and the next week they just go back to doing what they're doing.
But then he made it horrific, too.
Well, he fell in love with the character.
So obviously that's what you do to something you love. You go, how can I make things worse?
Again, I understand the trials that she goes through in this movie. I think that her character is 10 times more interesting than you'd expect, and I think there's a happy ending.
That's what you said.
We'll see what you think.
Now where are they?
They're back at the police station, and the FBI has come to take the body, and they don't want them to take the body.
Oh,
this is where the fight scene would come in after, because they're going to fight over taking the body. Instead, they just cut to the body being taken.
I wanted to see him bend steel around his head.
This guy's got a good line coming up in a second.
We're taking the body back to Portland.
Not yet.
There's not a thing you can do about it. Teresa Banks
Here it
has
is.
a ring. Any idea what happened to it?
We got a phone here. It's got a little ring.
I like that guy.
We've got a phone here.
See, this is where he would have taken him outside and beaten the shit out of him, which I wish was still in here.
You know what else has a ring? Saturn.
Now, Chet Desmond is about to abruptly leave the story.
That blue rose again. What does it mean?
Stanley doesn't know, and he asks in the deleted scene. He asks Cooper.
Scotty doesn't know.
He asks Cooper what it means. He's like, he wouldn't tell me what it means, and he goes, well, "I'm not going to either," because they're very secretive about their task force.
I'm curious how it would have gone if this was Cooper from the beginning.
They would have done this a little differently.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm curious about what that would have been like. And I haven't even seen this one yet.
I have an interesting story about this actress here. They were driving, David Lynch was driving with somebody around town looking at sets or something, and he just saw this woman on the side of the road, and he said, "Go get her phone number." And then 3 days later, she was on set just doing this walk-on part. She wasn't an actress. She's just like, she has the look of somebody I want to see come out and complain about her water at a trailer park.
Well, she nailed it.
Yep.
I bought. Do those numbers mean anything?
I don't know. I don't know. I just know that number 6 telephone pole pops up a lot.
Does it pop up 3 times? Because then that's 3 6s.
It probably does, but it also pops up in the return a bunch of times.
I don't know. Maybe a lot more 6s mean like a lot of demons.
In a different town in the return, by the way. So this is where Chet Desmond's going to leave the story, and he's going to find the ring under this trailer and disappear and never be seen again in Twin Peaks lore ever again.
He took it to Mount Doom.
He's only ever mentioned once as being part of this task force when David Lynch's character, Gordon Cole, is just filling in some stuff for us. This trailer is said, when Dale Cooper gets to this trailer park in a minute, it's said to belong to, I think, the Tremonts or the Chalforts. They're the same thing. There's these two names that these entities from the Black Lodge seem to use in the real world. There's an old lady that's played by Happy Gilmore's grandmother.
I know her.
And she uses that name. And that name is like one of those weird, unexplained things that is so important that it's like the key part of the last scene of The Return.
Okay.
That's how you know that things aren't exactly on the up and up.
There's Dale Cooper.
It's 10:10 a.m. on February 16th.
Check your watch. I love it. It's great comic timing.
I was worried about today because of the dream I told you about.
Cooper is so weird.
It is. Well, it's about to get weirder. Because David Bowie's about to show up for an incomprehensible moment in time, which becomes a key part of The Return also. So, I mean, how much of this stuff is like so important to what comes later?
Did David Bowie do The Return?
No, he was dead.
That's what I was wondering.
He was dying as they were shooting it. And he asked that they redub his voice because he never liked his southern voice he put on for this. But yeah, I think he would have done it had he not been dying. Here comes David Bowie.
All right, Cooper was fascinated by that hallway camera.
Well, he's going to... There's a time distortion thing that he seems to be intuitively knowing is about to happen. Because he wants to see if he can see himself on the camera, which is an impossible thing, except it's going to happen. So I think he can somehow intuit that something is going wonky.
Okay. Well, yeah, he had... Yeah, right. He said sync your watches to Gordon, whoever that is.
He seems to understand that it's about to happen. Now, there's so many little key things that happen in this scene that seem completely unimportant that become important.
David Bowie looks pissed.
Now, he looks at Cooper and he's like, what the fuck? Even though they've never met.
I'm not going to talk about Judy. In fact, we're not going to talk about Judy at all. We're going to keep her out of it.
Gordon?
25 years, nobody knew what the fuck Judy meant or what that was about. Becomes a very big part. Okay. Now he's looking at Cooper and says, who do you think this is? He's been communing. He's been able to get to this, above the convenience stores where a lot of the dark entities, their meetings in this room. And he got to the room and he got to see these people. There's Bob. There's the man from the other place. There's the jumping man. There's the woodsman.
This is creepy.
He got to see these people. Garmonbozia is pain and suffering. It presents itself for our viewing as creamed corn. But that's what they are. They're making people suffer so they can eat the creamed corn. David Bowie's seen these people. Time is in such a loopy thing, especially when Philip Jeffries is around. As you've seen, time stood still for a second when he was there. He's seen Cooper post end of season 2. This is a prequel to that. But he's seen that person. So he looks at Cooper and says, who do you think that is there? Because he's seen him as possessed by Bob.
Oh.
Because he looks at him first and he's like, what the hell? Because I've seen this person before because time is working differently. I've been to this timeless place.
Right. So were any of these people that are here, they're all Black Lodge people, right?
Yes.
That have gotten out.
Well, the Black Lodge seems to be more of a waiting room than anything. There's the only parts we ever see of it. This seems to be their gathering headquarters more than that.
Dude,
here's David Lynch's son. And you're going to love this. We're going to take it back. And it's a monkey. A monkey who will speak later in the movie. One word.
This is all creepy.
It's amazing.
Whoa. Okay. Were any of these people in the Twin Peaks show?
Yeah.
Okay.
The man from another place, the little guy there was.
Yeah, I remember
Bob
him.
was, obviously.
Yeah.
These other ones seem to not be. Happy Gilmore's grandmother was. And David Lynch's son. They played people that Donna in season 2 delivers to for Laura's Meals on Wheels to continue the program.
Oh, season 2 I got
the Chalfonts. And that's why they become a piece of this. And Philip Jeffries has now disappeared too. We will find him again in The Return. But that was all we ever get of this. And he drops some nuclear bombs on things that pay off in 25 years. But stuff that people for 25 years poured over. Yeah. Like, what is it? What is Judy? What does that mean?
All right. That was weird. That was really weird. I liked it. I didn't like that room, though. That was a bad room. Good job for David Lynch for just making me look at a bad room. We
get to see more of the convenience store in The Return, too. The Return, as I've said, I think is his, I don't know if you say masterpiece or magnum opus or whatever, but it feels like all roads of all of his work led to this brilliant 18-hour thing that feels like almost every piece of his work collected into one giant thing.
All right.
We're going to watch it next year.
Like Stephen King did with The Dark Tower.
Kind of. And in a way, part of the Cooper story, I think, could be the same idea, where I think that this might be happening more than once. I think that he might be in a loop, trying to save Laura Palmer, trying to solve Laura Palmer's murder, trying to save Laura Palmer, trying to solve Laura Palmer's murder, trying to save Laura. I think this stuff might happen more than once. I think there's some evidence that, especially in The Return near the end, that these attempts have been made before and they fail.
Okay, I'd buy it. I like where this is going. I like the playing with time. It makes it weird. It's creepy as shit.
Like there's a moment in The Return where a character looks over and sees another version of herself staring back at her, and neither one seems surprised by it. And then that character kind of disappears from the story. And I always think, like, I think that this is another version of that character, a previous version that it just happened to. And that's why she's not surprised, because they keep doing this over and over and over. That's kind of the only real piece of information I have to go with that. But it feels like the reason no one's surprised to see each other, see themselves, is that we know this is going to fail. We've been doing this for a long time.
Whose car is all smashed up with the words?
That was Desmond's car. Let's Rock is the first thing that the man from another place says to Cooper when he gets to the Red Room in episode 3 of Twin Peaks.
Oh, okay.
But he doesn't know that yet.
No.
Then we're going to get to the cool opening here.
Not only has Special Agent Chester Desmond disappeared without a trace, but this is one of Cole's Blue Rose cases. The clues that were found by Special Agent Desmond and Agent Stanley have led to dead ends. The letter that was extracted from beneath the fingernail of Teresa Banks gives me the feeling that the killer will strike again. Like the song goes, who knows where or when.
One of the coolest transitions I've ever seen.
All right, 1 year later.
But this is the Twin Peaks theme. Now we're looking at the Twin Peaks sign. And now Laura Palmer finally existing in reality. Now, one of the things that people have a problem with this movie for is that it doesn't have the quirky, zany stuff going on in Twin Peaks that they expect. I think there's a perfectly explainable reason that this town feels so different. In Twin Peaks, we're experiencing the town through the eyes of Dale Cooper, who is an optimist and finds the good in everybody and kind of makes everybody around him better. In Fire Walk With Me, we're experiencing through the eyes of Laura Palmer, who's not going to see any of this quirky, fun stuff because her life is a living hell.
Okay.
I think it's a very deliberate. This is, by the way, a shot straight out of Halloween.
Yeah, it is. I can see that. Michael Myers should jump out behind that hedge.
It looks like he should, yeah.
Right?
There's Mike and Bobby from the TV show. Bobby's her boyfriend that I think she's just using to get drugs. Although she does seem to have some affection for him, but she likes a lot of people.
She's an affectionate
Bobby's
person.
a darker person. She seems to be also in love with James here. James is a good person. Donna's a good person. So as Laura's conflict grows, she kind of tries to push them away to keep them away from their dark side because she doesn't want them to be like her. Because I think she knows that she's doomed.
The good ones, and she leans into the dark ones.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now they're in the bathroom.
What do you think she's going to do in there? She's going to take a number 3. That's coke up the nose.
Oh. One time I did a number 7.
They're still rebuilding. Because she's the homecoming queen. You know, she's the most beloved person in the school. But she's also got her secrets because something horrible's happened to her at home. This movie, in some ways, is a rebuke of. I have to say this about every movie from this era because it was true. The Reagan-Bush era of.
Ooh, hold on. Laura Palmer's in a towel.
The Reagan-Bush era of family values. This movie's like, yeah, the darkest shit happens at home. They keep pushing it. All this crime happens on the streets. The worst things that happen to you, 9 out of 10 times, happen in your own house. That's what this story has kind of always been about.
It's true, too.
Yes.
Why is he kissing the glass? That's
because he loves Laura Palmer.
Hey, what was I going to say? There was something I was going to say. It was a really good thought. Damn it. You told me facts and I forgot what I was going to say. He's the good guy.
Yes, and he genuinely loves Laura.
She's smooching with him.
And she's like, you got to kind of stay away from me. I'm a mess.
Why would she come say that if she's wearing a towel?
That's the dichotomy of Laura Palmer.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say, and then I forgot because you said dichotomy, and I was not expecting that word from you. Oh, that's what it was. See, it's third time lucky. If you were in the bathroom and you're doing coke, that's like the worst spot because you sniff it up your nose, right?
I guess.
Right?
I mean, I don't know anything about cocaine.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm asking you but anyway, you sniff it up your nose, and you're also sniffing up all the bathroom smells. Oh, God. For some people, that's an added bonus. I did not know that. Perhaps cocaine enhances the flavor of poop.
Urinal cakes, although she's in the ladies' room.
Yeah, that's true.
What do they aim for?
I don't know. Not much. I remember every time I've had to clean a women's restroom, it's way grosser than a men's restroom.
Yeah, because they got blood and stuff.
Also, the one time the person pooped in the theater and walked all the way up the aisle to the bathroom, it went to the women's restroom. I followed the trail of poop. I solved that mystery.
Here's your first look at some boobs.
Yeah,
right there
they
in
are.
school.
In the school. It seems like after hours at the school, though. Is that what happened at high school after hours?
I don't know. I never stayed after school.
I was in detention all the time and none of this happened.
You were in detention all the time.
Oh, I guess school was still in session.
Where were you for the last time? I've been looking all over for you.
No, you weren't. You were kissing a picture.
What?
Turn around, he might get dizzy.
Where were you? I'm not kidding around. Who were you with?
Get lost, Bobby.
She's mad.
Bobby's so easily controlled, though. She's just going to flash him a smile, and he's going to forgive it.
He was in the show, right?
Yeah.
I remember him being that way.
The show does an interesting thing with him in the end of season 2, where his father is Major Briggs, who plays an important role, even though his actor was long dead in The Return. He tells Bobby he had a premonition that he was going to be a good man, and it's this really sweet moment. And then you get to The Return, and he is. And his character is one of the most interesting ones in The Return, because most people have been stuck in place for 25 years when you get back to Twin Peaks. His character is the one that has, like, real growth.
Is everyone stuck in their, the same, like, emotional state or mood?
Pretty much.
For a reason?
Except for him, pretty much.
Yeah, but, like, is it, like, a plot-wise reason?
I believe it is, yes.
Okay.
I don't think the town exists in that way. And outside of Bobby, nothing really ever changes. The town's gotten a lot worse. But the people that we knew are the same people that we knew, except for Bobby, who was told by his father that would happen.
I liked his cool dance through
He's a cool guy.
the quad.
Everyone's always like, James is cool. I'm like, James is a dork. Bobby's cool.
Is James a good one?
James is the good guy.
He did seem like a dork. I like this Bobby fella.
I like Bobby too. And then once you get to The Return, it's okay to like Bobby now because Bobby's awesome. And he's banging Madge and Amick in the show. So like,
Oh, yeah.
he's the
Madge and
coolest
Amick.
guy.
Yep. Good for him. I like Moira Kelly.
They do too. And
You know what I remember her from? With Honors.
yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. I've told you this before.
No, I knew it was going to be
Oh, yeah? Could have been something else.
the one where she ice skates.
Oh, yeah. No, it wasn't that one. All right. What are they talking about?
Moira Kelly is like, Bobby sucks. James really loves you.
All right. I take back what I said about Moira Kelly. She's clearly wrong.
And, well, she's kind of repeating back what Laura's told her. The problem is that Laura doesn't think she deserves good things because, as you know, bad things are happening to her. And Moira Kelly's going to be... Moira Kelly, my name is Donna Hayward. Donna Hayward's going to be like, I think I should have sex with Mike. And she's like, you don't even like Mike. And she's like, I'm not talking about liking somebody. I'm talking about having sex with somebody. And I was like, interesting. She just thinks it's time to do it.
Okay.
In the show especially, Donna is the very reserved person.
Okay.
And Laura is clearly not. And Laura thinks it's funny that she would even consider having sex with Mike.
I don't know what that means.
Because Mike's a nothing character.
Okay.
It's kind of what I really think it means is Mike's just a nothing character.
Oh, don't be mean to, what's her name? Donna?
Donna Hayward.
That's Donna. Like Donna Reed.
This is another great moment here. She asked if you were falling through the sky, do you think that you would speed up or slow down after a while? And this is the most nihilistic thing. She's like, oh, you'd speed up and it would get worse and worse. And I'm like, fucking poor Laura.
Oh, no. And we also now have missing Chris Isaac.
This is also we're never going to talk about him again. This is also the first time that she mentions the angels. She's like, and the angels will abandon you, or angels won't be there to help you.
Does Chris Isaac come back in The Return?
No.
No
You
kidding.
would never, ever have to worry about him again. He was invented because Kyle MacLachlan didn't want to be in the whole movie.
That's too bad. I've been intrigued by him.
We don't know what happened to him. We don't know where he went.
We
I'm
don't
guessing
care.
the Black Lodge.
Now, is the Black Lodge just for the evil entities, or can other people, like Cooper gets trapped in there, right?
If you'd like to interpret it that way, you can, because there is also a White Lodge, which clearly a lot of good comes from when you get to The Return. I don't think that it's meant to be so black and white, which is funny because the White Lodge is actually shot in black and white.
Okay.
I don't think it's meant to be. I think that's a waiting room for between the two worlds is what the Black Lodge kind of is.
All right. Between the White Lodge and...
No, I think the White Lodge is something else. I don't think it's meant to be like diametrically opposed to each other. That's just what they're called. I think the Black Lodge is like the waiting room between whatever the next world is or the other world is in this one.
Okay. And the White Lodge is just something similar, but white?
It's in black and white, and we learn in the return a lot of things that it has powers that the Black Lodge does not have.
Okay.
And the fireman / giant that runs it seems to be a good person, but there's a character called, not the Bobby and Mike, because there's also Bob and Mike. Mike is the guy that used to be Bob's partner in the Black Lodge, and Bob has gone off on his own and been
a jerk.
He's a jerk. Even the bad guys hate him. That's the shit Bob is. Mike cut off his arm because his arm he felt was evil. The arm is the little man from another place. Yes. So
okay.
But
I dig it.
Mike inhabits a man named Philip Gerard in the real world. And Philip Gerard, as Mike, seems to be a good person doing good things. Opposite Bob, trying to track down Bob and stop Bob. But then the more you read into it, maybe that's not the case, because he's the one who throws the ring to Laura and stops Bob from inhabiting him, but it's so they can get the Garmonbozia. So he's still feeding off the pain and suffering. It's just they just hate Bob. So for a long time, I thought Mike was a good guy. And now I'm like, I don't think Mike's a good guy. He just wants his pain and suffering, and Bob is trying to selfishly steal it for himself.
That's not helping her. That is just
But I've never
focusing it back where they can all partake.
But I've never put it together why he cut off an arm that went bad. Because maybe he was trying to be good.
Wow.
But the action he has in this movie isn't actually, based out of goodness, I don't think. But he does help Cooper on both the show and the return. So maybe he is. It's nothing's black and white. It's hard to.
Well, whatever they are, they don't necessarily have to have human morals or goals.
It's just weird, though, because when he talks, sometimes you get the impression that he is trying to be good. But then in this movie, it kind of stands in the face of it.
Who's this guy now?
This is a guy that appears in the TV show in season 2. And he is Laura's secret friend. He's an agoraphobic, so he can't go outside. So this is a safe place for Laura to go. And he's the one she's been telling about Bob, and basically a person you would share your secrets with. He doesn't believe Bob is real. He's onto something. This is where the movie gets creepy again.
She's being weird as shit, and she's like all possessed and saying stuff to him. What's she saying? Ah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's losing her mind, and nobody knows how to help her. And one of the great themes of the show that continues here is Bobby, who's kind of an arrogant, self-centered prick, but is also not a completely terrible person.
Cool dude, Bobby?
When they're at his funeral, she says, everyone, he's looking at everybody and how they're all pretending to care, but they didn't care when she was in trouble. And he's like, everyone wants to know who killed Laura Palmer. We all did. Like, we all knew she was in trouble. We didn't do anything. And it's like, that's another great moment for Bobby. Bobby's actually like a really good character.
It's that jacket.
But like this character here, his heart's in the right place. He does not know how to help her. And he can't even leave the house. So unless she comes to him, there's nothing he can do. He hangs himself in season 2.
Couldn't he call somebody? That's not going outside. Do phones exist?
Yes, phones exist.
Then yeah, he should have called somebody. That's what I say. Oh, so he's hitting her too?
I don't think that they were that until that moment. But she's clutching out for anything, to feel anything that's not horrible.
I think he was into it.
Of course he was, but I don't think that's the relationship they had before that moment.
She's insane, though.
Well, she's traumatized.
Well, yeah, but from his perspective, oh no, she's been telling him all about Bob. What about Bob?
And he wants to help her, but he can't.
He can't go outside. I don't know why.
Which they never mentioned in the scene, so it looks funny that he just doesn't open the door. But if you see the TV show, you'd know. This fan plays a disgusting part in this movie. For a while in the movie, people talk about the fan. She seems to have these reactions to the fan.
Does it involve that telephone pole?
He turns it on so his wife can't hear her abusing his daughter.
Oh.
When you figure that out in the movie, it's like devastating. That's why she has that reaction to the fan noise.
Oh.
So it's
she's
bleak.
orgasm.
There he is.
There he is.
When the next murder happens, you will help me solve it.
He's now telling you what's going to happen in Twin Peaks. I like this guy.
What's his name? Miguel Ferreira?
Ferrer.
In this movie or show?
Albert.
That's right.
He's one of the great characters.
Did Munch ever make it into the Twin Peaks world?
No.
Oh, too bad. feel like he would have been a good addition for the 2017 one.
He was dead by then, I think.
Munch is dead?
Maybe he wasn't by then.
That's
Around then.
disappointing news.
He just told him to be a blonde, sexually active blonde doing cocaine. And he's like, that's half the girls in America.
So they're both Blue Rose people.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if Albert is at this time, but he is by the return.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he was just sitting there.
Well, he's running out of agents. Philip Jeffries has disappeared.
And
Chet Desmond has disappeared.
They
Dale
don't seem
Cooper
to
has
look
disappeared.
for him. Yep.
Yeah. Maybe we know what happened to Chet Desmond because we watched what happens to Dale Cooper for 25 years. He just sits in that room.
But he never comes back.
Maybe he goes back to something else. He's not. This isn't his case. His case is in Deer Meadow. Maybe he's walking around Deer Meadow. He never gets possessed by Bob, though.
That Bob is a jerk.
Because Cooper is walking around the world for 25 years. He's just doing it as Bob.
I'm trying to think of what about Bob. Oh, what is this? Oh, there's that
Happy
monkey
Gilmore's
kid.
grandma. You can trouble me for a warm glass of shut the hell up.
You will go to sleep. Is that what she's saying? I think she's saying that to
I'll
her.
put you to sleep. She's going to give her the creepiest fucking painting. Because it's so simple, but it's so creepy. It's going to play into a nightmare that's coming up.
It's just a door that's halfway open. What is this creepy ass shit?
Imagine watching this and never seeing the TV show or David Lynch movies. Just want to see some boobs. And I'm like, what's happening?
You know, I don't think I ever made it to the boobs part because it was just a lot of weirdness.
No, you get 25 minutes at Deer Meadow. Which always felt superfluous to this movie because this movie, when it gets to Laura, is very centered on Laura. There's Magdynamic, my favorite. But when you watch it now with the return, it's like the most important part of the movie. Because you get so much information that becomes important later.
Okay. All right. That was creepy. I don't like Billy Madison's grandma. No, it's Happy Gilmore.
And now I don't like this fan because I know what the fan is. When the fan's on, she gets terrified. And it doesn't tell you till later why that would happen.
Yeah, because right now she's hiding from a ceiling fan because it's on in her empty house.
And how silly is that is like an idea, but it's got such a dark implication once you watch Leland turn it on after he drugs his wife. You're like,
damn
oh
it.
my God, it's
I
terrible.
hate this. I'm not even there yet. You describing it to me is not pleasant. All right, now what? It's an empty house.
Well, the lady just told her Bob is underneath the fan now.
Oh.
So she wants to go find out who Bob is. Because she doesn't know
She
it's
doesn't
Bob.
know. She still thinks it's... No, she thinks it's Bob. She doesn't know it's her dad.
Yes, and she wants to catch Bob. To prove it's real because nobody believes her. Well, the one person she's told doesn't believe her.
Oh, the door's creaking open slowly, and I'm nervous, Bryan. What's in there? What's in there? Don't be Ray Wise. Nope, it's Bob. I guess that's better.
Yeah, but this is about to be, I think that the actress here, Cheryl Lee, is fucking incredible in this movie. And I think she should have won Oscars for this. And this scene coming up right here is as good as I could ever imagine somebody doing what's about to happen. It's so heartbreaking and terrifying.
She's crying under a bush.
It's about to get fucking crazy, like to me, like how good her performance gets. She sees her dad walk out of the house.
Oh my God. Oh my God. No, 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 no.
Could you imagine?
Nope, I'm out.
Yeah, right. Now she's going to spend a lot of this movie trying to almost prove it wrong, I think, in her mind, because she can't accept it. But now she knows.
This is dark.
Uh-huh. It's a very dark movie.
This is super dark.
This is why it's my favorite Lynch movie, not because it's this harrowing, but because his ability to make you feel something in a scene is pushed to the extremes, and it works.
Yeah, but now I'm just bummed out and I don't want to talk about anything. I want to sit here and be sad. So enjoy my sadness for the next 2 hours.
Well, it's not 2 more hours. I do like Moira Kelly in this role more too. Nothing against Lara Flynn Boyle. She's fine on the show. But I think that Moira Kelly's actually really good.
Except the only 2 movies I know her from are With Honors and the ice skating one.
And this one.
And now this one.
Here comes another creepy scene. This is one of those scenes where you're like, how much of this is this Bob character and how much of this is just Leland? Because the show never shows Leland to be as dark as he is in this movie. They did cut out a scene earlier around a dinner table where you get to see the family having fun together. That they maybe should have left in, because it would have been a nice
juxtaposition
to this scene where it's...
Because right now it's just Ray Wise sitting there at a table with only 2 chairs.
The other scene is like Laura and Sarah Palmer are sitting at the table, and then he stomps in like a Viking. He's like, "Where is my dinner?" And then he starts trying to teach them Norwegian because the Norwegians are coming, which is what happens to the first episode of Twin Peaks.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So it's like a funny thing. It's a very funny scene where they're all having a good time as a family, and I think it would have helped to have it before you jump to this.
Yeah, because now she knows that he's been raping her this whole time.
She does, but she's blocking it again. Like she's going to try to think it has to be something. She has it wrong.
Oh, so she's... Oh.
It can't be possible. So that's why this scene is important, is that she sees a darker side of him and goes, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like everything's a reminder that it's probably true, but she's trying to not believe it's true.
I kind of just want her to die so this can be over because I don't like watching it. I really don't. My mood is sunk.
I think that you should, next time Fred's at the dinner table with dirty hands, grab her hands.
Nope,
Your hands are filthy.
First off, fuck you for thinking I would sit down and eat a meal with my children. We're a TV family.
Such a creepy question from a father. This is from your lover.
What is that from? She's got a half a heart necklace?
Yeah, it's part of the TV show too.
I don't remember. So what was it?
He has to leave it at the scene because it's one of the first clues.
Oh, okay.
James has the other half.
James, the not cool guy. How would this ever be seen? Like what he's doing right now, that's not like affectionate. It can't be viewed. He's just creepy.
Right.
He's creepy and weird. So the mom knows.
That's what a lot of the return, I think, gets into.
Look at this. This mom's reaction knows that
this is part of what
her husband's fucking their daughter. This is gross.
It's part of what the return gets into. Because the TV show kind of let Leland off the hook. The movie puts him back on the hook, but it lets Sarah Palmer off the hook. The return comes back to place some blame on the other parental unit in the house. In my interpretation of it, at least.
That's just what I saw right there, man. I don't like it. This is not fun.
David Lynch, it's funny, the Twin Peaks, because he never returns to things. There's no like follow-ups to Eraserheads or Mulholland Drives or Blue Velvets. They're all self-contained things, but he keeps returning to Laura Palmer. And it's interesting that all of his shows, Twin Peaks was about a dead girl, but she became such an overriding part of the story, even though she wasn't in it. And then he makes a prequel movie. And then the return, it's all because about Laura Palmer again. Like that's the one character he couldn't let go. And I find that interesting because there's no other thing he worked on where there's continuing stories of it.
I think, right, because TV by its nature allows you to have episodes so you can go farther with it. And like you said, The Return is an 18-hour movie.
Yeah.
But you
she's
can't
not
make
even
that.
in Twin Peaks, which is why it's so interesting. They cast her, she was a local person where they were shooting. They cast her just to play the dead body. And then he met her and was like, oh, she's got something really good. And he started creating ideas for her to come back in flashbacks or videos, or they cast her as her identical cousin. So we had an identical cousin. And then they make a whole prequel. And then the finale of Return comes all about her again. This is a character he found the most interesting, I think, in his career.
Okay. Now what's going on? Ray Wise. I used to like Ray Wise.
There are moments where I think this is him remembering. I think that the implication here is that Bob's about to do something horrible. The Bob side of him. And there's the side of him that doesn't want to do it or knows it's going to happen.
Okay. But really, it's him.
That's what I think, too. but isn't this like classic abuser? I was this creepy, horrible things to you, and I'm going to come apologize because I'm a good man.
I think so.
I think so too. I don't have that. I've never been abused.
But this has happened more than once.
I'm not cool. I've never been abused. But I like the scene because this is him being apologetic, and he comes and touches her hand in a more caring way after what he did earlier. I think this is like a sign of like, if in this small moment he's able to understand what he did wrong, that means in the big moments he knows too. And that's really horrifying to think about. Because it means he's not off the hook. It means it's not just Bob overtaking him.
What if all of this is Bob and he's just fucking with her because he knows it makes the torment more? What is it called again? Garbanzo?
Oh boy. I don't remember.
Skibbity?
Garmonbozia.
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 Garmonbozia, like the old thing that was maps. The Garmin.
It's possible that it is because Bob's whole thing here is he's been inside Leland torturing this girl because he wants to get inside her and have all of her pain and suffering because nobody has more pain and suffering than Laura Palmer.
There's that. That's a weird angel painting.
It is. And it's another horrifying thing about why are angels on her mind, because what's she looking at while this is happening to her? It never explicitly says that, but
you think too much about this. This is gross. I hate this movie.
Well,
this is worse than Blue Velvet.
Well, sorry. Is it really?
I think so. This is, I mean, I get it. I really understand that this is great because I'm feeling all of this, but fuck, I hate it. I hate it so much.
So when you get to the return, spoilers for the return, that Judy idea is explored further. And there's something inhabiting Sarah Palmer, who, when you get to the return, who has more suffering and pain than Sarah Palmer? Her husband was abusing their daughter and dies.
Yep.
Her daughter is dead, and she's left alone in that house. And it's an interesting thing about where these evils come from and why they choose who they choose.
Why'd she hang that painting up in her room that the creepy old lady gave her?
So we have this awesome scene of her entering it in the dream. And it's very cool, I think.
Hey, those are those velvet drapes.
I think this is a cool scene.
Is it going to be the little man?
Nope, it's going to be Happy Grandmother.
I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. I heard they were doing a Happy Gilmore too.
That's correct.
Interesting.
It's coming to Netflix though, so good luck.
Also interesting. Oh,
see,
I don't like this wallpaper.
Of all David Lynch's movies, I think this is the one that's a clear horror movie.
I mean, I buy it. Oh, it's that kid now.
He's his son.
He's got a normal face, though, not a monkey face.
Yes.
And he doesn't have his mask on.
I fucking love this movie, Pete. Now, there's a theory I have that I've heard other people have too.
Is that the ring?
That's the ring on a Formica table. Just
Cooper's now
the man from
somewhere.
another place said it would be. Cooper's in this red room. This is before, obviously, he gets the red room, but time is different in these places. So this is probably him stuck here after the end of season 2, honestly. She's gonna tell Laura, don't take the ring.
Do you know who I am?
This is that little guy. What's he called?
The man from another place.
The man from another place.
Or the arm.
I am
Yep.
He didn't want to come back and do the return because he had discrepancy about pay. So Lynch just turned him into a tree with like a head on it. And said, I'm the evolution of the arm. And he's like, don't need you.
This guy is weird. This is all weird. That's why he asked him. I see what you're saying. He asked him at the beginning, do you know me? Because he's trying to place him in time.
Yeah. Yes. So Cooper tells her, don't take the ring. And it doesn't make any sense because the ring will protect her from Bob. The ring puts her spirit into a place where it can move on later, which is the happy ending I claim happens. But there's two theories on this. One is he doesn't understand what the ring is. He's intuitively thinking it must be bad because it's coming from this person. He's trying, the man from the place is trying to pass it to her from the room, which is something that can happen.
Yeah, but he told her not to wear it, right?
Cooper told him don't take it. It doesn't make sense though, because the ring is actually a thing that helps her in this movie until you get to the return and you realize what Dale Cooper's plan is. And it involves having Laura Palmer alive. Bob won't kill her if he doesn't take the ring. Bob wants to become her. Bob wants to inhabit her.
Whoa, wait, who's this dead girl?
That's Heather Graham. Annie from season 2 of Twin Peaks. The famous cliffhanger, how's Annie?
I didn't know Heather Graham was in the first one, or season 2.
That's going to come back in the return.
What'd she say?
That Dale is in the Red Room and he can't leave. In the Black Lodge and he can't leave.
25 years later, the return was made. All of this was just, but they probably would have paid off in the sequels if it was successful.
Or if the show had continued. But Laura Palmer in the Red Room, the first time Dale Cooper meets her in the Red Room, says, "I'll see you in 25 years." 25 years later, she's come back. It's one of those things that's fucking crazy. So she has the ring.
Yeah.
But now she doesn't have the ring.
Okay, so for a minute she had it.
Yes.
All right.
Now, I think that the "don't take the ring" is connected to ideas that they had for the future movies, because there were supposed to be 3 ideas.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So I think it would have paid off, because it does pay off in the return, why he wouldn't want her to take the ring. If she doesn't take the ring, Bob never kills her. Her father never kills her. Bob takes her over.
Yeah, because that was the plan.
Yes. And in a weird way, that's what Dale needs to happen.
Because it keeps Laura Palmer alive.
He needs Laura Palmer alive to fight off these entities. Bob, it'd be weird seeing yourself in the painting.
The painting changed. Now she's there.
Trying to fight off these Bob and Judy entities. And we get to that in the return.
Oh, because we don't know what Judy is yet.
You don't know anything about Judy.
But there was a Judy entity in
We're
the
not going to
picture?
talk about Judy.
Okay.
Not
We don't talk about Judy. That was an Encanto thing. I thought you liked musicals, Brian.
Now she can see herself in bed. It's a very 2001: A Space Odyssey ending.
I never made it that far.
But the ring's good.
Dun dun. She's a magician. I don't think I've ever seen anybody sleep in a nightgown ever.
You never watched a movie before?
Nope. This is my first one.
Neat. I like this moment because of all the weird things Lynch does. This is the most realistic thing a person would do. Like, nope.
Take the picture down.
It's the most normal moment.
I don't know why she hung it up. Who's this guy? He's mad about shit. He's scrubbing the floor, though.
If you've seen the TV show, you know that's her husband.
Oh, yeah. He was a giant jerk.
Yep.
Who was she sleeping with in the TV show?
Bobby.
Bobby, that's right.
The first thing you're going to learn is to have a good attitude. That's the key. Anybody will tell you that. Don't even think about going anywhere. I'm not finished with you. Yeah.
Leo, Bobby.
What are you doing calling me here?
Where else is he going to call you? He's a trucker on the road. Where's he supposed to call you?
What is their deal? Because Bobby's a cool guy. Why
Leo's
is
a
he-
drug dealer.
Okay.
Bobby's fucking his wife.
Oh, and Laura Palmer.
And Laura Palmer.
Bobby's a playboy.
Here's Jacques.
I don't remember Jacques.
There's 4 characters this actor plays because they keep dying. So he plays another brother of them. There's 3 of them in the TV show, and in the return, all 3 of them were dead. So he brought this actor back to play an until then unknown 4th brother. He's running the prostitution ring. All these seedy things are going down with your Leos and your Jacques.
And Bobby's a part of it.
Bobby's trying to be a part of it. Bobby thinks himself
a player?
A player, and he's not. But he's trying to get his foot in the door.
This is a terrible door to get your foot into, Bobby. I'm glad he turns out all right in the end. He's a good egg.
He is.
He's smoking a cigarette. You don't see that much these days.
He's got one of the few arcs that, for the overall purposes of the show, through the movie, through the show, is like a real positive one.
Is this Laura Palmer?
Yeah. Who else would it be?
I don't know. Her hair looks all feathered up.
That 50s car.
I didn't recognize her. She's drinking. She's not 21.
She's not 21.
It's Donna.
She did coke earlier. I don't know how you're offended by her.
There's no age limit on coke, Brian. You can do that whenever.
There is. No one can do it. This is the age limit on coke.
No, I don't think you understand. They have restrictions. You can't buy beer till you're 21.
You can't buy cocaine ever.
You can if you know the right people. And they don't like card you. They're like, hey, man.
Well, you can if you know the right people to sell you alcohol, too. Your logic is falling apart.
Yeah, but see, they sell the alcohol at stores.
Oh, they sell cocaine at stores if you know the right people.
Is that like the secret menu people tell me about?
Where do you think I got it from in the 80s? I was getting it in the back of a Speedway.
Oh, I didn't know. I just assumed that you knew rich people.
I did because I was rich.
We were rich?
Yeah, who took all our money? I never really solved that problem.
No, we didn't. You know who that sounds
You know
like
why
a
I never
problem
solved
for?
it?
Why?
Because I was too poor to figure things out when I got back here.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
I hear you don't get a good education if you're poor. No, I was going to say something, but you made me forget again.
That's a problem for future Bryan.
Yes, that is a problem. That's who it is for. I see. Now what are they talking about?
I wish Moira Kelly had been in the show. Well, Laura is going off to do dark Laura things, and she doesn't want Donna around for it, and Donna wants to find out what's going on because she knows her friend's in trouble. There's something wrong with her, and she wants to find out what she's up to.
Okay, so that's what's going on.
And Laura has no interest in her hanging around because she's going to be getting into drugs and men.
But Donna had expressed an interest in that in their last conversation.
I mean, she expressed interest in having sex with Mike, a guy she knows, not going to the bang bang bar and banging.
Oh, I thought that was the gun bar.
This is the Roadhouse.
Where Sam Elliott works?
Yep, there he is.
No, man, that's the arm. Is she carrying around the arm the whole time?
No, her log does talk to her, though. She's the log lady, famously. Catherine Coulson, who worked with Lynch all the way from Eraserhead on. Even
was
before
she in
Eraserhead.
Eraserhead?
She's not in it. She worked on the movie.
Oh, okay.
She was in, I think, his first short film, though. She shot footage for The Return 4 days before she died of cancer. They couldn't even go to her house. They had to set it up over Skype so David Lynch could direct her. And she gives an incredible performance, sitting in a chair talking about her upcoming death. It's very moving. And then the character dies, and then she had died 2 years before The Return aired.
Huh.
But it's like, that's how, first of all, the scenes are moving as fuck because you know what's happening in real life. But secondly, just to have been with Lynch from the first short through The Return is incredible. This is my favorite scene in the movie. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And this is Julie Cruz singing Questions in a World of Blue. She sings Falling, which is the Laura Palmer theme from the TV show.
Is she the one who was in that radiator in Eraserhead?
No.
Oh, okay.
She did a lot of work with Lynch, though.
You know, it speaks to the fact, and I guess working with Lynch, that she came back on her deathbed just to film, to make sure it was done.
Literally 4 days later.
Yeah.
She was that sick.
I feel like that says something.
I know you don't like music. But
I don't.
think
I'm so bored.
I think the scene is so beautiful and moving.
So there's somebody singing, and she's hanging out at the Bang Bang Club. What? Why?
Well,
Why?
this is where she's going to get her orders for her prostitution.
All right. But what does this song have to do with anything? Why is she so...
I don't know. It just emotionally affects her in a way that I think is very beautiful. Again, I think Cheryl Lee's so incredible in this movie that I feel everything she's going through, which in this movie is a tough one.
Well, when she was laying in the bushes crying because she realized that was pretty rough.
That was, again, I think that's some of the best acting I've ever seen.
I had to sit back and I didn't want to watch anymore.
And now I'm still making you watch it an hour later.
No, this is...
Oh, don't worry. It's going to get so much happier.
You tell me there's a happy ending.
I think there is a happy ending.
Okay. I'm going to be so...
And I think The Return undoes it.
I'm going to be so disappointed if there's not a happy ending at the end of this. I'd be excited if there was a happy ending at the beginning of this.
I don't know how many people have ever had it worse than Laura Palmer has it in this movie. It's tough.
So now she's got to do it in front of Donna?
Well, Donna wants to see what's going on.
Yeah. And Laura Palmer knows now that Donna's here.
No, she doesn't.
I thought she looked at her.
No, she looked at... she's looking at the stage. Donna's behind her.
Oh.
That way.
Did you just point off screen?
I pointed to you that she'd be that way.
Oh, look. No, she's looking that way.
Because she's looking that way to see what she's looking at. See, that's how you know they're not looking at each other.
Now they're all looking at each other. What's going on here?
She said, I'll take the clients.
Oh, those are clients all lined up?
Sure.
And now she's looking.
Well, she's putting it together. She has no idea about this side of Laura's life.
Well, I'm glad Donna's figuring it out because I would not have figured it out if I were in her shoes.
She's got a very blunt line here that I love. That's going to end this great musical moment we had.
They put money on the table.
So you want to fuck the homecoming queen?
I love this movie. I know that sounds weird because we're watching the most pain a person's been in.
So this is a high schooler.
Yes.
And these are grown adults.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, her life's not a happy one. And again, this is, I think, her taking control of her downfall, which is interesting to me in a way.
I get it.
But I've never seen a movie really explore that in a way that is this interesting.
I like happy movies, Brian.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
I like when people are happy and they high-five each other and they go on adventures.
And she doesn't want her any part of this. But despite telling her she doesn't want her to be a part of this, she's going to string her along for a while on it and see how far she'll go. Which I could not imagine Lara Flynn Boyle playing this because Lara Flynn Boyle's character wouldn't do anything.
I don't think I liked Lara Flynn Boyle as an actress because she went on to one of those lawyer shows. The Practice, perhaps? Boston Legal?
Don't know.
It was one of them. And I remember I didn't like her acting much then either.
I know she was dating Kyle MacLachlan on the show. Not on the show, but in real life while they were making the show. And it kind of threw off some of the plans they had because there was obvious chemistry for him and Audrey Horne.
I remember that.
And where you want to know where Heather Graham came from, Billy Zane and Heather Graham pop up on the show out of nowhere to give them new love interest because Dale Cooper, Kyle MacLachlan vetoed doing the relationship.
Oh.
And people sell it as because he didn't think he would sleep with a high school girl. But in reality, I think it's that Lara Flynn Boyle's like, you're not fucking doing this.
Because she was a high school girl.
Yes.
I see.
But they make clear several times she's 18.
Yeah. Okay.
How old do you think Dale Cooper's supposed to be in that? I think he's still in his 20s.
I have a hard time telling people apart by age. So I'm going to guess more than 10.
I don't think that excuse is going to keep working for you.
What do you mean?
Go to court and tell them that I have trouble telling people apart by age.
No, see, I'm establishing precedent right now.
No, that doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I don't know how people are.
This podcast is inadmissible.
I can barely tell faces apart.
That's true. That's come up several times on this podcast. This is one of those scenes where I saw it the first time where I was so...
Are those boobs?
Yes, confused though, because this music just plays loudly over the entire scene for the next 5 minutes, and they give you subtitles. I get it though, because I've been to clubs and stuff where things are so loud you can't hear shit, and he really captures that completely on this film. They're in Canada now. This is what Canada looks like.
It's just a big room with music.
Yeah.
And people dancing. It doesn't appear to be like strippers, just everyone's dancing naked.
Yes.
All right, I got you. I can keep up. It's all red.
Because it's Canada.
Is this the Red Room? Wasn't that a thing?
Yeah, you've seen the Red Room.
Oh, this guy's making out with her. It's the wrong guy. She made out with the wrong twin.
No, it's Jack. He thinks he's funny. I do like this beat, though.
What?
I do like this beat. It's just a repeating thing. It works for me. I don't know why.
She's got muffins? Donna does not appear impressed.
She's not comfortable here.
Is that nudity? Yeah, it is. The band is naked. Why is he pretending to shoot himself?
I don't know the answer to your questions.
Why does that guy look like the lead singer from that band, Nickelback?
He
Not
did.
him. The guy that's hanging out with Donna.
He didn't.
That guy.
Scott Stapp.
Yeah. It looks kind of like him.
Is that Nickelback?
Maybe. Or it's the other one.
Creed?
I think they're both the same band secretly.
I know they both suck. She's showing Donna what her life is like, and Donna is not comfortable with it, but she's going to go along with it because she wants to prove she can be cool like Laura.
Hey, he put something in that beer.
Of course he did. These aren't good guys that are off trying to buy sex with the high school prom queen.
Oh no, they're going to roofie Donna. And Laura Palmer's in on it.
She doesn't know.
And so is Nickelback.
Well, I believe that, but Laura Palmer doesn't know that they spiked her beer. Why isn't Moira Kelly in more things? She's got star quality.
I think so. Those are the eyebrows of a star. And that is the hat of a guy with glasses on.
Also, the Annie scene where she pops up and tells her about Dale being stuck in the Black Lodge, that is after season 2 of the TV show. So Laura Palmer's writing in her diary something 2 years before it's going to happen.
Okay.
That's one of those weird things about the times of the show. So they find those pages in the return, which actually comes
the missing pages,
which becomes a big key because now the Twin Peaks police force knows that what happened to Dale Cooper, and they're able to look into it.
Hold on, she's naked again.
Yeah, it pays off 25 years later, or
Seems
27 years from the time she wrote it.
That's really funny to me that this. Well, again, yeah, I keep thinking it's funny that this movie was made with all of these things that don't get paid off for 25 years, but they were specific to 25 years.
Again, I think that's why some of that stuff comes from probably what his plans were for the next couple movies if they had made them. Because things fit together in a way that don't feel forced, and there's a reason those pages were missing, and it does become a thing that makes complete sense when they find them.
Right,
and what's written in them is something impossible, but now we know why it's possible
because of time travel.
Well, that was a dream, but this is the thing I was trying to say back when we saw the ring on the Formica table. One of the theories I like most about Twin Peaks, because a theme that comes up here, Ronette Pulaski is the girl that. In the opening of Twin Peaks is also with Laura Palmer the day she's murdered and is found walking on the railroad tracks coming back and she survives. So she's like the link to what happens to Laura Palmer, which we're going to see in this movie, but we hear about in Twin Peaks because she's a character that pops up in the TV show.
Okay.
So one of the theories that I like the most is that in this movie, it's a cut scene, but I think you might hear it over the static. David Bowie says, "We live inside a dream," which is something that Dale Cooper repeats in the return. It's something they discover more than it's like a throwaway line. I think that it's possible that, and we know it's happened at least once, Dale Cooper and Laura Palmer share the same dreams.
Okay.
Which is how they're able to communicate in these weird ways, even though she's dead, and how the time wonkiness works. They're connected in some way. I have this theory when we get to the return that in that Mulholland driveway where somebody wakes up into a different existence, that kind of happens in the return also. And I think that their sharing of dreams kind of explains it in a way that I think they're sharing dreams from two different realities.
Oh.
I think Twin Peaks is a different world to the guy dreaming of being Dale Cooper in it. And I think that Laura Palmer is dreaming of a world that is different than the one that she lives in Twin Peaks. You have to see the return to understand all that, but there's a reason I think it, and I think it explains actually a lot about how things work.
So
and these waiting room is a place between two worlds. The famous poem that this comes from is through the dark of futures past, the magician longs to see one chance out between two worlds. Fire walk with me. That's where this fire walk with me comes from. And if you take that things literally and break it down with what you learn in the return, I think that there's a reason. I think that Dale Cooper is like an avatar in a dream world of this Laura Palmer thing. And there's a different Laura Palmer in the world that Dale Cooper, the dreamer, would live in.
There's real people in both worlds.
Yes, I don't think they're even dreams. I think they're able to cross into each other's.
Right, but there's the Laura Palmer who is dreaming, where she meets Cooper, and the Cooper that she meets in the dream is in a world where Laura Palmer has died, and he is trying to.
Yes.
Yeah. She's still got no shirt on. How do I keep missing these things?
Because I'm trying to
They keep
explain
saying
theories to you.
They keep saying One-Eyed Jacks. That was the club, right?
One-Eyed Jacks is a brothel.
Oh, okay. And Laura Palmer just said she got thrown out of there.
Yes, it's part of the TV show, so that's where they would have probably worked, and now she's doing it with her Jacques and his...
Which is like a seedier prostitution ring, it seems. Oh, wait, I missed it. Was that Moira Kelly?
Yeah.
Oh, rewind it.
I can't rewind
Rewind it and pause it.
But this is where Laura's going to be like, no, wait, I don't want her to be a part of this. This has gone too far.
Because she snapped again. It's pretty good acting again.
She's great in this movie.
This guy's a jerk. They're all jerks, Bryan.
She's yelling at her and said, I don't want you taking my stuff, which is that's her clothes. She's wearing something of Laura's. And I think it's a really brilliant way to not have her just be like, don't be like me. But she just keeps saying like, I just don't want you taking my stuff, wearing my stuff. Seems like a pretty shitty club, to be honest.
Yeah, it does. Shitty club with shitty people and shitty hygiene. Look at that mess. So what happened? Did she get away or did Fat Jacques go rape her?
Oh, they got away.
Okay. Didn't seem like it was going to end well. I'm kind of glad the music's over now, to be honest.
Yeah, it goes on for a while, but I really enjoy it because it's such a strange scene.
Ooh, now we're in the forest where it's nice and calm, and no, we're back in the people again.
That's the Hayward house.
Who are the Haywards?
Donna Hayward. Oh, no, that's the Palmer. No, this is, he's coming to get Laura from the Haywards. Doc Hayward is the doctor in town. His daughter is Donna Hayward. His wife's in a wheelchair. So I know about her. She's the Deschanel mother. On the TV show, she's played by Zoe and the other Deschanel's mother.
Oh, okay.
Who I think also, maybe their father directed some of Twin Peaks.
I see. There it is. She doesn't want you to wear it. Don't wear my stuff, bitch. That's what she says.
But that's not what she means.
Does Moira Kelly remember anything? Donna, I mean?
She just asked, like, did you yell at me for taking something or wearing something of yours? And
okay.
It's kind of important that she doesn't remember everything, I guess. She remembers enough.
Now she's sad. Everyone's sad in this movie.
Yeah, maybe you understand why people that love Twin Peaks and Dale Cooper bopping around doing zany stuff weren't thrilled.
I'm starting to get it now. I think these critics know what they're talking about.
Well, in 20 years, you'll be like, you know what was really great?
In 20 years, I'm going to say that?
That's what happened to most people.
All right. Well, oh no, Ray Wise is back.
Yeah, and he's having a memory of seeing his daughter, Renette Pulaski, which is they're going to piece this together in a minute.
Oh no, did he go sleep with them at the club?
No.
Oh.
Well, they mentioned at the club when they were talking to Jacques, Ronette, and Laura that it's been a year since Teresa Banks died. So they're telling you right there they knew Teresa Banks. They all worked together.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Cooper's not here yet. We've just been following Laura Palmer this whole time.
Cooper's not coming.
Oh, he's not?
You see him in the red.
Oh, no, that's right. We saw him at the beginning there.
Now here's Philip Gerard, possessed by Mike. And that's Leland Palmer, possessed by Bob.
Which one was Mike? Oh,
Mike
the
is
good one.
That was
his old partner.
But is he good? I don't know.
Okay. But right now he's in a camper chasing down Ray Wise.
Because he knows he stole the Garmin Bosia for himself. This really is a story about how Bob is just a selfish prick. And all the other lodge monsters hate him because he's trying to take everything for himself. I think that's true.
It hangs together from the little I've seen.
Because they're all different forms of, like, fucked up. So I don't know, like, they hate him, though.
This is intense.
Yes, it's crazy.
He's just yelling at him.
You stole the corn. He had it canned over the store, over the convenience stores where their meeting place is. The corn is what it looks like when they eat the Garmin Bosia.
Yeah. And Ray Wise is just trying to drown it all out. Why is that dog barking?
To make it crazier.
Holy shit.
He has the ring. That's the
Yeah,
important thing
I
to
saw
take
that.
from that scene is that he has the ring.
Which one was he in the lodge?
He's not in the lodge because his arm is in the lodge. The arm he cut off is in. He'll be in the lodge later, though. He does appear in the lodge sometimes, but he's out possessing Philip Gerard to try to stop Bob.
Okay. And we assume the other entities are on board with his efforts.
Because they want the Garmonbozia.
Yeah.
That's as far as I can really get into understanding their
Motives.
what they're doing in this movie from the lodge characters. Because most of it is almost more straightforward with this abuse.
Is that Teresa
storyline.
Banks?
Yes. That's the creepiest line.
What did he say?
He said, "You look just like my Laura."
Oh, so this is a year ago.
Yes. So he wants her to invite her friends, which is when he's going to see Ronette Pulaski and Laura Palmer, his own daughter. And he's like, oh, shit.
Okay. And Pulaski was the one who was walking the train tracks.
Yes. She'll be part of the ending of this movie because her story is connected to Laura's.
All right.
Who am I?
Superman. Spider-Man.
Hey, how'd you get it wrong?
Because I'm getting excited for that Superman movie.
These are such great cuts. He's just taking a moment and remembering a year ago. Ray Wise is really good in this movie, too.
I used to like Ray Wise. Every time I saw
It's some
him.
dark shit. He's talked before. He's like, I just didn't want to be the killer. I just really didn't want to be the killer because of what it meant and what it was saying. And, and they came to me and they're like, guess what, Ray? And he's like, great.
That's rough.
And then you got to go to this movie and it's got to be all on camera now.
Oh, my God.
I think he had just had a daughter at the time, too. And he's
Oh,
like, please,
no.
He's like, please don't let it be me.
Look at that old-timey Coca-Cola machine.
Yeah, that's not product placement. That's just at there because I'm telling you right now, he wouldn't do it. Lynch.
Oh, he just saw his daughter and
Ronette
Pulaski.
Ronette Pulaski. The scene has one of my favorite endings to any scene in movie history. Here it comes. It's such the most random shit. I love it. It's one of my favorite moments.
What the
I like he looks back and sees him.
That little fucking kid with that mask. He comes hopping out of the bushes like Michael did.
But why?
I don't know.
Exactly.
And then
Now he disappears. I love it.
So
it's just a great way to end the scene.
So Leland Palmer just chickened out of fucking his daughter in the threesome.
Well, that's what he tells her. He can't do it because he sees his daughter there, obviously.
Yeah. But he's been doing it since she was 12.
Yeah.
So I'm confused.
I don't think he does it with an audience. She doesn't know that. If he walked in,
Oh, she would know that it's his daughter. Wait.
she would know who her father is if he walked in right then. This is the point. He's not Bob in that moment.
I think he's Bob all the time.
I don't think he's Bob all the time.
Because why would Leland Palmer be banging that other girl then?
I mean, that's what happened in Twin Peaks. Everybody was cheating on everybody.
It was the style of the times.
It was a soap opera. This is what it was meant to be. So this is her still trying to find out if it's him, even though she's seen him and knows it's him.
He is batshit crazy.
Because she said, I saw you last week. Did you stop home during work? And he's like, no. And he's going to be like, oh, you know what? I did last Friday. And then it's like, that's horrible. She's trying to disprove it because it can't be true. It can't be true.
I thought I saw you.
Oh, God, you know, I did stop home.
Both of their performances here, if this is just a conversation.
It's such a great choice to have him like be like warm and kind at the moment where he's confirming for her the worst thing she could hear.
He's oscillating.
He's really good in this movie. He pops back up for the return for one scene shown twice that's about 20 seconds long. Like that's wanting to do the work.
Yeah.
to just show up in the red room and just have your hands over your head. Then he pulls his hands down. He's like, "Find Laura," and then you see it twice over the course of 18 hours. That's his entire part.
So, Laura, she wasn't an actress at all.
Nope.
Gosh, she's pretty.
No,
solid.
I think she was like in high school plays and stuff, like when the TV show got cast, which would have been like 89. This is getting shot in 92 or 91.
Okay.
So she probably got cast in like 88.
There's the arm.
Trying to offer the ring again.
The man from
Another place.
Another Place. I like that name better. But the arm is so much easier to remember.
She remembers the ring
Being on
Teresa Banks' finger.
But Teresa Banks is dead now.
Yes.
And now a portal is opened up above her head.
Electricity.
That's a poltergeist.
That's how the evil moves.
Who is it?
Well, you know who it is.
It's Bob. Bobby and Electric. Twin Peaks 2, Electric Babaloo. Hobo. Oh.
This was a year ago.
Did
I
he
like how
just-
they use his memories in this. They've cut all of them in such an interesting way.
He just killed her.
Yep. And he wraps her in plastic
Put the letter underneath her nail.
and throws her down the river. Yep.
Where's that key for?
It's for doing cocaine. It is. That's her cocaine at the bottom of it.
But there's a key
She's
also.
running out. Yeah.
I don't think. See, this makes sense. You do it in the bedroom where there's no poop smells all over the place.
You don't know what she gets up to.
All right, fair enough. As I was saying the words, I realized that I don't, in fact, know what she does in her free time.
Hey, Bobby. I think he's cool.
I do too. He's always leaning on stuff.
I think that's a mark of being cool, yeah.
Whenever I try to lean on things, I slip off.
You know what he's like? He's like a hipster greaser.
Yeah, he is.
He's got kind of the greaser look, but he's not committing to it because that's not cool anymore.
And he's got the haircut.
He's got leather jacket. He got a cigarette in his ear in high school.
With the letter T on the back for tough. Is he making plans for Nookie Nookie?
Now, one of the mysteries of the
Yes.
show that was never answered in the show is that Laura said somewhere that Bobby had killed a guy. And the movie here actually answers what happened. He's taking Laura to go pick up their drugs that he's buying for $10,000 or $5,000, whatever it was.
5,000, I think.
I think it was, but then I think somehow it became 10,000.
Double up for $1.
I just don't know if I'd take my girlfriend on my drug deal, but hey, whatever.
What is that flashlight?
I think it's just how he's shooting the woods.
Okay, that's because it makes me think that someone's shining a light in the woods.
That's what I think it's
Looking
meant
for
to
something.
look like, yeah.
But they're not shining a light in the woods.
No, that's the way. Maybe it's the guy coming for them, but I don't know.
Maybe it's an owl.
The owls are not what they seem.
I know. Did we ever figure out what they are?
Yeah, the owl cave is a way into the Black Lodge. The owl cave, the ring is actually the owl cave ring. The pattern on it, if you turn it upside down, looks like an owl.
Oh.
It's a way into the Black Lodge. It's a hole of black tar surrounded by sycamore trees.
And do the owls take people there or what?
No, I think they're just not what they seem. And then when you get to the White Lodge, you can get there with like a puddle of like gold sludge by one sycamore tree. So there's ways to designate how to get to these places.
You know what's interesting, Brian? Well, I was about to ask you, is this what doing cocaine is like? Just falling down and rolling around and laughing at shit?
No.
No? Okay. Well, everything you just described about ponds and entrances sounds a lot like that nonsense that they pulled on Lost. And I didn't like it with Lost being magic, but here I just accept everything you just told me. I'm like, well, that makes sense.
There's a big difference in the way they were utilized.
Oop, the flashlight found him.
Yep, there you go.
His mustache.
It's cool music going on too.
You really like the music in this.
Yeah.
You should buy the soundtrack.
He's just like they're on a date to go to his drug dealer.
Is that Bill Paxton?
You know that it isn't,
Do I?
since it doesn't look anything like him.
It kind of sounds like him, though.
Now, there's a whole subplot cut from this movie where they find out this is laxative, which means what's about to happen. And Laura thinks this is hysterical. The guy pulls a gun, so Bobby's justified in shooting this guy. And he's going to kill this guy. And he's justified in my mind. But when they find out it's laxative and he can't even resell it, and he's lost $10,000 doing it, he tells Bobby's like, I killed a guy over laxative. And Laura thinks it's the funniest thing in the world.
So right now it was just a drug deal, and that's how it's portrayed in the film.
Yes.
Okay, but really,
Well,
it's
he
like,
thinks it is at this moment a drug deal. He doesn't realize
Right,
he's
right.
getting screwed.
But does it happen in the movie, or you said the subplot was cut off or
There's
cut
two
out?
deleted scenes of him checking it and finding out it's laxative, and then telling Laura, and Laura just thinking, "Oh, that's hilarious."
All right, but right now we just know that he didn't pay anybody, did he?
He did. Nobody owes. It's one of the plots that opens Twin Peaks. He owes the $5,000 to Leo.
Lynch always does really good practical effects.
Well, wait till you get to the return, where some of the effects are so rudimentary that people were like, why do they look like that? And they all convey exactly what they're supposed to. But he was like, we're going to spend all of our money on episode 8 and have the greatest effects you've ever seen. So every other episode in the 18 episode thing is just like stuff you could make on your computer with clip art.
Or a piece of cardboard with a Sharpie.
But I've noticed a return, people talk about the return lately. They love those effects because they're like, they're so memorable because they're so lo-fi. But then you get to but they're also important because when you get to episode 8 and he's doing this ridiculous thing, it's so beautiful. It wouldn't be, I think, stand out as much if the rest of the show also looked good.
Because your expectations are so
Yes.
low at that point.
Everything looks a little silly. And then you get to episode 8 and you're like, what the fuck? That's where all the budget went.
All right. Is he trying to bury him?
Yeah, he's just throwing some dirt on him. She put a stick on him, but
She's helping. She thinks it's funny.
she thinks this whole thing is funny.
Now, was Mustache trying to kill them? Or
He pulled a gun on him. I don't know why, because he was giving them laxatives, first of all, not drugs. So it's not like he had to take the drugs back, and the money was going through a different party. So what the fuck does he need to shoot him for?
Right. Why does she think it's funny?
I don't know.
Because his brains fell out?
And I think she's fucked up. She's all drunk and drugged up, and this situation is so ridiculous.
All right, that makes sense. All right, I'll
Here
buy
comes
it.
James. We haven't seen James in a while.
James the jerk-off? Oh, he rides a motorcycle. I'm conflicted.
He wants to be cool.
Oh, look, he's got a jacket on, too. It's not nearly so cool, though.
Those are cool sunglasses, too. Maybe he is cool. You're cool, James.
He got spiky hair. That's cool. When does she sleep?
Well, she's going to sleep soon. For a long time.
Or not? Because she comes back, maybe.
Maybe.
Where were you last night?
That's his question?
That's what every question, everybody asks her, the first thing they ask her. Where were you? I was just looking for you. Because she has many different lives that nobody knows about.
Do you remember those commercials that said, it's 10 o'clock, do you know where your kids are?
Yep.
And they had famous people do it?
Nope.
Yeah, it was a bunch. It was like somebody who was somehow involved in film, or I think Prince did one once. But anyway,
I don't think so.
Why were they doing those?
I don't know.
All right, thank you for your response. I don't know what they're doing. Sounds
He
like
wants to see her again.
Of course he does.
She wants to keep
bitch.
the people that she thinks are good people away from her as her descent continues, that she has taken both hands on the wheel of. Which I think is in some ways beautiful. In a weird way.
But, because Bob's going to get her anyway.
Yeah.
There's that cocaine again. I'm beginning to think she might have a problem.
Well, she doesn't. Again, she is the architect of her own destruction because it's the only thing she can control at this point. And that's why, again, I know it's horrible, but it's in a way kind of beautiful. Here he is drugging his wife.
It seems like she's pretty much catatonic anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He roofied her milk?
Yep. This is the moment where you're going to realize why she hates the fan so much.
Nope.
What? It's just giving his wife some delicious milk.
I'm going to go stare off into the distance and maybe read a comic book or something.
This was the moment where, when I first watched the movie, my heart sank. I was like, oh, the fan thing that was silly is no longer silly.
Oh.
Isn't that horrible? But they took such a concept that was so stupid, like, oh, is she afraid of the fan? And then you get to a point where you're like, oh my God, the fan.
I used to like fans. They were nice. They moved the air for me, kept me cool.
Well, Sarah's going to see the white horse that she sees a couple times throughout the show.
That means she's a replicant.
No, that was a unicorn. And
same thing.
It means that death is imminent because, saw behold the pale horse. And set upon him was death. And every time she sees it, there's a death a brewing.
Who's going to die?
Well, Laura Palmer's going to die very soon.
Yeah, but not like now.
But it also, white horse is also heroin, right?
Is it?
Maybe that's what she's been drugged with. I thought so.
Oh.
Again, was a slang for that. No, I wouldn't. I've never done heroin.
Yeah, but you know those people.
Pete, I did all the cocaine.
You move in those circles.
I did so much that we have to time travel back to time before I did it all so that it still exists.
Oh, no. Now what is she doing?
She's inviting it because she wants to know.
And it's Bob.
It is. And she's trying to get Bob to come because she has to know.
I hate this movie.
So she's known for the last hour and a half of this movie who it is. But she's so dead set on that it can't be true that she's looking for any way that it isn't. So this is kind of her trap.
And she's about to find out it's her dad, right?
Yes.
The face is going to change from Bob.
It's horrific, Pete.
I don't like this.
But she's in control of it. That's what I do like about it, is that she's setting the trap to finally find out.
Nope. Do not like.
This guy was the set dresser. And now it's like, hey, guess what you're doing now?
Nope. Did he have any problems playing such a creepy weirdo?
I don't think anybody ever asked him.
Everyone's asking Ray Wise, though. I was about to say, don't open your eyes. What am I doing?
That's what she wants, though. She wants to know. Who it is.
I hate this movie.
Really?
I'm sad.
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
She's got one of the best screams in the world. It's actually what ends the return, too. Hear the fan? It's a fun one, isn't it?
I hate this. No, she's got to sit at this is the worst.
I don't think I've ever seen somebody convey something so dark so well, so completely.
I'm trying to think of these movies that people get awards for that are, oh, it's such a serious, like the Catholic Church rapings and things like that.
They're nothing like this.
No.
You don't feel anything compared to what you feel in this.
I mean, to be fair,
you get sad about the story, but you don't feel like so trapped in this complete hell that these other, like, I've never seen a movie make anybody feel like that, where this one completely does. That's why I think it's his masterpiece.
Everybody involved is culpable.
Yeah.
Well, I guess like you said at the beginning, Billy Boy said it. We all took part.
Yep. So there's Bobby, picture.
Billy Bobby Brown.
This examination of this character in her traps, in her personal hell, is just like, it's so much more effective than anything I've ever seen.
I kind of liked it when she was just a dead girl and we didn't know anything about her.
Well, that's part of what I think makes this movie so great, is that the death of Laura Palmer is turned in a weird way from the tragedy to the happy ending. Because not just because she's dead and doesn't do this anymore, but because of what happens at the end of the movie in the Black Lodge at the very end. I think he recontextualizes the thing of this mystery of this horrible tragedy to, no, the tragedy was her life that lived here, but she's going to be able to find something better, which the return gets into a little bit too.
Okay. Now sometimes she's walking around. And
electricity.
Oh, I see what's happening here. The clocks are spinning around. That means we're moving forward through time.
Well, now she knows. Like, now is the time where she can't deny it anymore. I believe we're up to the last day of her life, too.
She's just... See, the clock's gone crazy. She's lost in time. She's going to wake up and she's going to have a big, long beard. And it's going to be 100 years in the future. And she's going to shout that she slept too long and fight the Deadites.
Now, again, people wanted to see the log lady and the woman with her one eye and her drape opener and close, the quiet drapes. They want to see Big Ed. They want to see all the fun stuff. They don't get any of the fun stuff. But they're not seeing Twin Peaks from the Dale Cooper perspective. They're seeing it from the Laura Palmer perspective. There is no bright. There is only the darkness. And that's why I think as much people hate how this movie feels compared to the original Twin Peaks, it's so necessary to put you in the place of the character.
You know what? I bet you...
And I think it's brilliant because it's a balls-ass thing to do, to take something people beloved like that and be like, I'm going to show you the real darkness.
And if there was a part 2 and a 3 initially planned, the tone probably shifted because now you're back to Dale Cooper or back to something, or maybe the third one would have ended with Dale Cooper. But when this one was just left on its own, you're just given pure darkness. Mm-hmm. Except you claim maybe not.
From the perspective of somebody that can't see the beauty in this world anymore, whereas Dale Cooper shows up seeing nothing but the beauty in it. I love the fact that Twin Peaks feels so different than Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. And when you get to the return, now you are in a place 25 years without Dale Cooper, and Laura Palmer's been dead just as long.
Well, Dale Cooper, yeah, well...
He's been in the Black Lodge.
Yeah, so Bob's been wreaking havoc.
You're not seeing Twin Peaks from either of their perspectives because they don't exist anymore. So that's why the show's... Of course, it could never feel like that, Twin Peaks.
Doesn't Cooper come back, you said?
Of course he does, but you're not watching Twin Peaks from his perspective.
No.
In fact, when he does come back and you do see him from their perspective, it becomes silly like a TV show again in a way that's very purposeful.
That was my next question.
But it's very purposeful. Like, it ends in a way where it's like he's giving you the bullshit ending that a TV show would have in season 7. And it feels so phony and forced and fake. And I love that about it because it has a different plan showing you that. But it does give you the ending. If you really needed an ending to 25 years of Twin Peaks stories, here's an absurd one I came up with that it makes no sense, but it's kind of shit you would see on TV. Okay. But then I'm going to show you my ending. And that's why I think The Return is so brilliant. But it doesn't, the Twin Peaks, the town, doesn't feel like either of these things because neither of these things is a part of it anymore.
Why does Leland kill these girls? Like, or Bob? Why does Bob kill them? What snaps and makes him...
Well, Teresa Banks had the ring, which is why I think you're supposed to read in this movie that ring is an important reason that he kills the people. That maybe he kills Teresa Banks when she has the ring. He kills Laura when she has the ring. He doesn't kill Renette. She doesn't have the ring. So it seems to be about the ring and the because he wants to not go back to the Black Lodge.
He doesn't want to share any of it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go back to the Black Lodge.
So he'd rather deny them.
And when they're wearing the ring, they're going to go. He's not. The Return... When she says, I'll see you in 25 years, Dale Cooper's trapped in that lodge for 25 years. The day is coming where he's going to be able to leave. And the evil Cooper, Bob, is supposed to come back and take his place. And Bob is actively in The Return trying to avoid being drawn back to the Black Lodge because he knows his punishment's waiting for him because of what he's done. So this is like a fallen angel or risen demon, whatever you want to put it. A fallen demon falling from the ranks of the bad to do his own bullshit. And eventually he's going to have to pay the piper for it. But he's trying... Oh, the angel disappeared. Because things are just getting better and better for her. Bob wants to avoid going back to the Black Lodge because they're going to punish him.
Yeah, why does he have to go back?
Because Dale Cooper, I guess he's only going to be trapped there for 25 years. I guess it's just how possession works. Yeah. Okay. So I guess eventually it would have left Leland too.
After 25 years.
Although, I don't know when Leland got possessed. That's one of those questions that's...
Well, if she's 18, Oh, yeah, because it was before 12. So we know at least 6 years.
At least 6 years. I would guess at most 6 years. But I don't know how he got possessed. It's probably in one of the... Mark Frost wrote some supplemental books that answer some questions. And I'm sure Lynch was thrilled about it. But again, that's just from Mark Frost's perspective, not from Lynch's. Because Mark Frost wasn't involved in writing this one.
Ray Wise looks pissed.
And people always guess that the reason this doesn't have the same bouncy attitude that Twin Peaks does is because Mark Frost wasn't in it. I don't think that's it at all, because if you look at the deleted scenes, there's plenty of that stuff. It's because that's not what this movie's about.
No. The log lady was here, right? I saw her, but it was not in a quirky thing. It was a very just serious...
It was a dramatic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I see what you're saying. You're making a lot of sense, Brian.
But
that's unusual.
That's how Laura would view it.
Yeah.
If you met Dale Cooper, he'd think it's probably interesting and strange, and he loves interesting and strange. There's a moment coming up here that something completely random happens, unexplained, that 25 years later pays off in the return.
The lady we saw with the ice pack on her eye, she's never explained again? She doesn't come back 25 years later?
No.
Okay.
That was the entirety of
the dirty old lady.
Her purpose. Does it mean there's nothing about it? I don't know. I just never found it.
Yep, I've decided. I don't like Billy. No, who's this one?
James.
I don't like James.
Well, you haven't heard him sing his awesome song.
A song, you say?
Yeah. So there's this moment when Cheryl Lee is playing her cousin, Maddie Ferguson, and Lara Flynn Boyle is playing Donna Hayward. Boyle. And he's kind of into both of them, and they're both kind of into him. And he writes this weird song they sing backup for. And it's such a weird moment in a weird show. But it's also when the show was kind of going off the rails. So it's not thought of very well. Actually, it's right before it went off the rails, but people don't love that part. But when you get to the return, all those things are happening at the Roadhouse. And I think 3 episodes in, I said, I better fucking see James Hurley singing that song at the Roadhouse. Pete, guess what happens later in the season? James Hurley's up there singing that song at the Roadhouse. And I was so fucking happy.
The songs were the episode breaks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was so, here comes that moment that's going to be called back to in a way you could never predict in the return.
I'm going to guess. Tell me what I'm watching. They're smooching. I bet you they're going to have sex in the return.
No.
Okay. What? You may try to kill you. Laura.
That right there. She screams at nothing in the woods. And
what'd she say right before that?
I don't remember. It's not important.
That's what you say.
No, because I know what she's seeing in the woods. And it's one of those things where you just never would expect somebody to figure out how to tie that in, that one moment they just have for whatever reason it's there. And it ties in incredibly.
It is... She sees Bobby shooting that guy again.
No.
She sees that guy's head come floating
There's
back.
no point to you guessing. Because you're not going to get it.
Big Bird.
She thought, Big Bird, fuck. I should always let you finish.
Yeah.
It is weird how they fit the Big Bird thing in.
I'm surprised that the Henson Company allowed it.
David Bowie's a tea kettle, so it is what it is.
And somebody else is a tree stump.
One girl in the original show turns into a doorknob.
Is this Beauty and the Beast? Is this Beast Castle? Is that what we're watching?
Yeah.
The prequel?
With Big Bird.
With Big Bird. Disney owns everything now.
I think this is a moment where she wishes she could have this life that's like there for the taking.
But she can't.
She can't, and she knows it.
Because she's been fucked up.
It's so tragic.
Yeah, but why'd you pick him and not James?
That is James.
Why'd you pick him and not Bobby?
Bobby's not grown up enough. And James genuinely cares for her.
Bobby just killed a man.
I think that James and Donna are like the way she wishes her life could be, the people she wishes she could be with. But for reasons that are not her fault, that she can't accept aren't her fault, everything that she touches turns to shit. And she doesn't want to dirty them. That scene, the scene in Canada with Donna is like the wake-up call to, I can't allow this to be infect the good people.
Then why is she out with him? I'm so confused.
Well, she's saying goodbye to him, honestly.
Have they slept together yet, or does he just want to?
I don't know. I'm guessing they did because the show was all about doing stuff.
Doing stuff. No, there's a stoplight that says stop. I've never seen that before.
You know what? Maybe it's more interesting if she didn't, though, because she sleeps with everybody.
Right. He just
No, she jumped off.
tuck and roll.
I love you, James.
Does he just leave her?
This is the Twin Peaks theme.
I know, I remember.
Well, she runs off into the woods. I don't think that motorcycle is going to do much good.
Yeah, it could. Motorcycles have keys, right? You could just take your keys and go looking for her. Well, it did say go.
I like how he waits till it turns red. I don't know why I love that moment, but I do.
Well, he is at fault. Fuck that guy. He made the wrong choice.
And now, here's her last night. There's Leo and Jacques and Ronette Pulaski. A lot of things in the early part of the show pointed to Leo, and there was good reason for it because he was there the night she died, although he doesn't do anything. Well, he does things. He doesn't kill her. There's your thought. It's that song again. That's how you know things are going to get funky.
All right. Ooh, I've seen those fireplaces before. They can't be trusted. Now, that was Madsen Amchek's husband.
Why are you cheating on Madsen Amchek?
Hey, underpants. Who's in the underpants? Is her makeup all messed up?
Yeah,
Aw.
she was kissing Jacques sloppily.
I guess so. Full moon. That means there's a werewolf on the loose.
I mean, listen, Ronette Pulaski, Laura Palmer, beautiful women. You got Madsen Amchek at home? Ugh. I'm not going to this cabin.
This cabin seems sad.
Yeah, does it seem sad?
I don't like it. It's dark out. Ooh, black. Ugh, look at that fat man's underpants. He's a tighty-whities guy. Oh, she's being raped again.
Well, one of the lines when she's in the red room at the beginning of the first season of Twin Peaks said, "Sometimes my arms bend back," which was pointing to the fact she'd been tied up the night she... Those are all little clues for this scene that we never know we'd ever see because you never put this on television. So it was never probably meant to be filmed. But this is all the things, all the clues that were there. They find that bird. They find they find her little neck piece. They find all this stuff that is now going to be found as part of the investigation. Like, what's this guy's connection? This is his connection. What's Leo's connection? It all makes sense when you see it. It just was never meant to be seen. It was meant to be discovered in small parts over the course of forever because they were never supposed to tell you who killed Laura Palmer.
Okay.
ABC made them.
Sorry, this is intense. Did he kill Jacques, do you think? No, just beat him up. Now, I know this Ponytail doesn't die because he's around in the show.
Yep.
But all the...
He's the fucking worst. I know that there's worse people. I know that there are. But fucking Leo is the worst.
So he just left them both tied up, huh?
Yep. And he had to yell at her to shut up. Like, how much more control do you need over the situation? But he's scared because he saw Jacques get beat up. It's pretty dark now that I think about it. If you can see Pete's face, he's not thrilled with what he's watching. This all happens in a train car, so they have to get to the train car. And Mike's out looking for Bob.
Yeah. I hope Mike makes it in time.
Look at that look on Ray Wise's face. Jesus.
Maybe he's angry, but he knew that she was sleeping. No, I guess he had never had proof that she was sleeping around, right?
I don't think it's about that. It's about Bob trying to put these last minutes of torture into her and take over her body. He wants to eat all of her pain and suffering, and he's caused all of it.
She doesn't have the ring, though.
Nope. Mike has the ring.
Oh.
Look at this. First of all, look how awesome this fucking thing is. Look how great that is.
It's dark.
I think this movie's fucking great. I know that you hate it. I don't know why. He's not going to kill you as long as you don't take the ring.
Right.
But he's going to do something worse. Here's the moment I talked about that I love.
I always thought you knew it was me.
Look at
Okay.
He just wants to be inside, or wants to take her,
Bob does.
possess her the way he's possessed Leland, because she's got all the tasty pain and suffering now.
But she's still fighting it off.
She won't let him in, and I like that she fought him off before she took the ring.
Okay.
The angel came back for Ronette.
Interesting. There's an angel here now.
And the music all stopped.
Yeah, it's all quiet. Does Ronette survive the show?
I don't remember. I think so, yeah. But now her hands are untied because a miracle happened.
But she's not going to help Ray Wise? Or, Oh.
No, she's not going to help Ray Wise, no. You mean L. Gerard here?
Yeah.
Philip Gerard. L. Gerard was the police officer in Die Hard, right?
Probably.
L. Powell. Now, he knocks her out because she's going to be... There's the rings. He threw the ring in. That's the best he could do to help her.
All right, and now the train car is shut again.
He knows what's going to happen, though, and he wants her back in the lodge.
Yeah.
Because Mike wants to eat the pain and suffering. That's the most interesting line in the movie. Don't make me do this.
Right.
Because who's he talking to? I don't think he's talking to Bob. I don't think it's Leland talking to Bob. I think it's Bob talking to Laura.
I think so, too. Because she put the ring on.
Yeah, I think people interpret it as Leland saying it and trying to let him off the hook for what he's doing.
No, I didn't
think
read
he's
it
saying
that
it to
way.
Laura because now he can't inhabit her.
Right.
Because if he does, what will happen to him? He'll go back to the Black Lodge because he's got the ring on, which is the one place he can't go.
Because it's a gateway.
Yeah, he'll be trapped there. He can go there because he's about to go there, but he's going to be. He can't be trapped there, which is what happens in the return. That's what they're trying to do is get the ring on him, get him back to the Black Lodge. I love how they keep cutting between the two faces.
Oh, the Bob and Leland.
That's him wrapping her in plastic, as we're going to find her at the opening of the TV show.
He doesn't care about that one.
Nobody cares about Ronette. She thinks she's dead. She's not, though. She'll be in the pilot episode, which picks up the next morning, basically.
And now he puts her in the water and floats her down the river.
Take me to the river. That's what he was singing about. Drop me in the water. Here's the black sludge with the sycamore trees around it. And you can see the red curtains pop up when you get near it. Behind it. That's how, when Dale finally leaves the red room, that's how he gets out, too.
I see it, Brian. There's curtains in that there sludge.
Yep.
Now he's there.
Oh, Mike in the arm.
Mike and his arm, both of them. And where was the red room? There's another transitory place.
It's the Black Lodge. I just think this is more of a waiting room, though, because that's all we ever really see of it. We see Dale sometimes walk around the outside of it, but it's mostly just more curtains. The White Lodge has rooms to it and more to it than this does.
Okay.
But maybe there's more to this. We just never see it.
Interesting.
Well, they want their pain and suffering. He can't get the Laura pain and suffering. She's safe. his arms connected again.
Yeah.
That must have been impossible to film because they both had to say the words backwards and then reverse them in time. So he's going to take Leland's pain and suffering, which is funny if you think about it, because the next day, that's when his real pain and suffering is going to start, because Laura's going to be dead and he's not going to know he's the one who did it.
Why is Bob giving it to them?
I don't know that he has a choice. And now you can see it's just the way we see it is them eating creamed corn.
Yeah.
Delicious. Like my grandpa used to make. Cold creamed corn.
Pain and suffering. All right. I don't like the way these spirits do business.
The monkey said Judy. The monkey fucking says Judy.
Interesting.
That's the only thing the monkey ever says. You get one line of it going, Judy. And it becomes a massive key point of the return. Who is Judy? It's so weird though, because like you get that one thing of David Bowie saying,
Judy.
We're not going to talk about Judy. We're not going to fuck with Judy at all. And then 2 hours later, a monkey looks into the camera and says, Judy.
I hate this one. I'm so sad. I am so devastated right now.
Don't worry, the happy ending's about to go. And she's in the waiting room. The place, I think, that it meant to be between two worlds. And Dale Cooper's there. He's back. Because he's stuck in that lodge, too.
Yep.
And now Laura has believed throughout this entire movie that she's fated to die, that there's no good in the world. She's not seeing any of the good in the world, and that the angels will abandon her. So the ending that they give her is that her horrible, tragic life is over, which is terrible. But they let her be wrong about something. And I find it beautiful because everything she thinks is bad. And she can't seem to find the good in anything. But now the angel has returned to her.
Dale Cooper? Dale Cooper?
No, an actual, her angel's back. Because I think that it's saying your bad times are over. You're going to be on to something better now. This is, again, a waiting room between two places. And I think that she believed that her soul was damned like her life was. And I think this is saying it isn't.
So is Cooper pissed right now because he wants her to be alive?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I take it the way you're saying it. That angel's clearly come back for her.
But if she could be wrong about this, then she could be wrong about a lot of things. And I think that's the good thing, because her life was so horrible.
I think this is the only thing that she was wrong about.
No, but I don't know that it's true. Because when we see Twin Peaks again, literally starting the next day from Dale Cooper's perspective, it is a more beautiful place. And there is good in that world. She didn't see any of it. So I think that she's now learning that there's much more to her story than just her life, and that it's going to be much better now. But again, I also want to point out that the way I read The Return is, it's going to reverse that.
Oh, no. I believe... Maybe Cooper's there to fight that angel.
It'd be funny if there's...
Just, they throw down right here in the zebra room.
Now, if you remember the beginning of Twin Peaks, when Dale Cooper shows up in the lodge, Laura Palmer, who isn't Laura Palmer, she says, I look just like her, but it's not her, is there to accompany him. And she's the one to tell him that he'll be there for 25 years and that she'll see him again. Now Dale Cooper, is it really Dale Cooper, or is this the same kind of thing where if the theory I have about the dream sharing and the different people, that he's not really Dale Cooper and sometimes she's not really Laura Palmer. It depends where
whose perspective you're on.
That is this actually even Dale Cooper? So does he have an opinion on this, or is it just like she wasn't really Laura Palmer? The one he met, when the real Dale Cooper meets, isn't the real Laura Palmer, and the one that Laura Palmer meets isn't the real Dale Cooper. It's the dreamer, if you wanted to look at it that way,
right?
Because the question of The Return is, we all live inside a dream, but whose dream is it? And that's, I think, the way I've read it, is that it's both of their dreams, or all of our dreams if you want it that way, or it's David Lynch's dream. You can really take it any way you want to.
That's what she said.
Nice. You waited 2 hours and 15 minutes to get to that.
I'm checking out my credits now because there's got to be something good.
The deleted scenes gives you a lot of stuff with the characters that weren't in this. You get some Big Ed and Norma stuff that's good. You get a great scene with Pete Martell that is the Eraserhead guy, Jack Nance. Is an old man is like, I ordered a 2x4 and this is 1 9/10 by 23 inches. Like, well, he's like, a 2x4 isn't a 2x4. It comes in as a 2x4, but everything has to fit. He's trying to explain it to him. It's the guy that runs the bank, and he's like, so you admit it? And he's like, let me ask you this. He's like, is $1 still worth $1 at your bank? He's like, oh, I get it. And then he walks away. It's a great scene. But would it have fit in this? Now, I'm sure you would have liked to have the lighter stuff in here because you thought this was very dark, and it was. Negative cutter. But I disagree. I think it would have really broken it up.
Well, I would have liked to have seen a lot of the lighter stuff. And in fact, I would have liked the whole movie to be the lighter stuff. And it's not about the last days of Laura Palmer.
You know what I think? I think that he got everybody a paycheck. Wrote everybody a scene, got them a paycheck, and knew the whole time that he wasn't going to have any of that because it doesn't make any sense to change the perspective from Laura to Pete Martell having comedy at the mill. It doesn't make any sense. I think he wrote it so he'd get a paycheck.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. If it were up to me and I had my druthers, I would have made this a comedy.
Yeah.
Starring Colin
This wasn't
McLaughlin.
a comedy? Did you see?
Did you see the part where she got raped over and over again? And then when she found out it was her dad?
That was the punchline. The setup was she's getting raped over.
The ending was the punchline where he punched her to death.
Oh. Interesting.
There were no best boys on this picture.
I couldn't tell. The thing went very fast.
Yeah, there weren't.
All right.
I kept it. They had a Best Boy Electric.
You
and a
hated
Best
this
Boy
one
Grip.
too, huh?
I think it was a solid movie, and I love all of the stuff. I don't like sad things. Sad things make me sad. I hate it.
Interesting. That sad things make you sad.
It is. It used to not be that way. I used to not give a shit. The only thing that ever bothered me was, Fred's death in Buffy?
Yeah.
No, Angel.
Angel. It bothered you so much you named your firstborn child after him.
Yes. See? That's how much I was affected. Now everything is awful. I hate it. I hated, what was the one where they cut off that girl's tongue and killed the parents?
Now you got to go upstairs and be like, Kitty, we have to have a third child. I have to name her Laura Palmer. It made me feel again.
No, everything makes me feel. I hate it. I hate watching all these things. I like it when people laugh and have high fives.
Well, she was laughing at the end.
You know what? She was.
That's why I told you it has a happy ending.
It is a happy ending. I take back everything I said.
Yeah, I love this movie. I think it's the most thorough examination of a horrific thing, and it makes you feel every second of it. And I think that Cheryl Lee is incredible in this movie.
She was.
And I think for somebody that wasn't even like looking to be an actress, for just 3 years later to be destroying a role like this is incredible. I mean, I can't imagine how difficult that role was to do. And then poor Ray Wise.
Yep. I was dark.
It was dark.
It was dark. Okay.
But it wasn't confusing dark. I mean, some of it's confusing because I still don't know how to read some of the stuff about what Mike really is.
I'm curious how I would have watched this if you hadn't been here to explain a lot of this to me, because a lot of these
not
are
explain, just give my interpretation of, because it's a lot of it's unexplainable. No, some of it's straightforward. The Laura stuff is very straightforward, but the return informs a lot of it. So it is, in a way, I feel like it's cheating, because when I first watched it, I didn't know any of that. The return not so much answers, but continues so much of this that it gives you a much better picture
overall
of what is being said.
All right.
And the return is a very helpful thing. It really explains a ton to me of what the meaning of this was. Although the meaning of this was very simple. It was watching this devastating final 7 days of this character that we know, and it hangs over the whole movie because you already know she's going to die. And it really, it works in a way that, I don't know, I don't want to say perfect because that's so dark, but dread hangs over every frame she's in.
Yep.
And I've never seen a movie do it better. And people hated this movie for reasons that I think I understand.
I get it. I can understand why, because that's not what people were expecting at all. Not even a little.
After coming off of Twin Peaks, that's not what they were expecting. I get it. But I think that he made something so much more interesting than just being like, here's the answers to Twin Peaks. And I think he does it again with The Return, where it's not going to go the way you'd think it's going to go ever. It's going to give you something you don't really want. And then when it's over, you're not going to be able to live without it. That's kind of what I think he did twice.
Oh, this would be a tough one to rewatch.
Oh, I've watched it a bunch of times.
I believe that. I believe that.
Hey, guys got to masturbate to something.
I'm not throwing shade.
The next week is I think a harder movie to understand. In a way, I think you can get to it. But next week is Lost Highway, which I think you've never seen either.
Nope, but guess what?
I don't know.
I own the soundtrack to that one.
Oh, yeah, because it was a big one. It was a big one. That's the first time he worked with Trent Reznor, I think.
Yep, there was a lot of 90s music.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting this to be a fast-paced, exciting movie.
I know it's a movie that has a lot of shots of the road.
Yeah.
Because when the Return came, there was a movie episode that started, it might have been episode 8, the great one, the best one, that started with the same kind of Lost Highway shots. And that was one of the times I started thinking that, like, there's some Eraserhead in this. There's a lot, obviously Twin Peaks. There's some Blue Velvet in this. There's some Lost Highway in this. There's obviously Mulholland Drive in this, especially with how things end up. I was like, I think that he was making like almost a career statement on all of the ideas that he's played with.
With that movie?
With the Twin Peaks: The Return.
Okay.
So I think it's good that we're going to watch that next year after we watch all this David Lynch. You can be like, oh, that kind of reminds me of this. That kind of reminds me
Once
of this.
I get a grounding, a classical education in Lynch.
Lost Highway is a movie where characters will change, as will happen again in Mulholland Drive, as will happen in Twin Peaks: The Return.
That happens sometimes.
It does, starting with this next movie, it's going to happen in the last 2 we do this year and then the whole Return.
I can't remember, but I really, really hope Life is a Highway is on the soundtrack album.
I hope somebody's yelling in the background, and it's lost.
Yes. Yes, that is what I want. I got to find that CD.
Tom Cochran?
I believe that is correct. And I think somebody has recently remade it, but it's a country song.
I think I remember that. And by recently, it was like 10 years ago.
That's pretty recent.
I think I do remember that.
I just heard about it like the other day, so...
So thumbs down for Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me.
Hey, if you're a fan of horribleness, thumbs up. Well done, horribleness.
Okay, but that's what he's going for.
Yeah, then top notch. This movie's perfect. Go check it out and jerk off to your heart's content. It's awesome.
The other thing is, of all of David Lynch's movies, I said this before, this is 100% a horror movie. I don't know. It's not even debatable to me.
No. Oh, it absolutely. It's a monster. There's fucking demons and entities. The room above the convenience store is so creepy. All of them are creepy. All the little entities are their own different level of creep. They have different ways of talking. It's the whole greater world is a monstrous world.
Part of me wonders if that's why people didn't like it at the time too. Not just because it's not the Twin Peaks we remember. He's never going to give you that. But because they're watching a horror movie.
I like that half of it. And then we get to the rapey parts I don't like.
And then you love it.
Then I love it. That's right. I think it's awesome. That's what I was hoping for when I came down to this basement with you.
I was only going to like it, but then he became her father, and I was like, now I love it. Well, I'm sorry you're not having as good of a time with these David Lynch movies as I had hoped you would.
I think it was a good movie. Like, really, I'm so excited to see the Return now.
Oh, yeah. When I watched it again to prepare for this, like 10 minutes in, I was like, oh my God, I forgot about this part that's in the Return.
There's so much going on. I want to know more about this world.
It was like, I think it was like 10 minutes, like 3 things that happened or have been said where I was like, that's going to pay off in the Return. Oh my God, I forgot that was in there. And I was like, oh my God. I got so excited.
Blue Velvet had a lot of stuff going on. It's just, I don't know. I don't remember what my problem was with that movie. And I liked Eraserhead.
I think it was too straightforward.
Yeah, that might have been
Which this movie does have too, but it's different kind of straightforward.
There's so much weirdness that I have to accept, and that's what I'm okay with.
This movie has a lot more weird stuff than that one ever could have imagined.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's what I like. I like the weirdness, and I like trying to figure out how it all works, because there's usually some sort of logic to it.
There is. I think that there is. And I think, again, most of it comes from watching The Return, though. So for 25 years, you watch this and be like, you're just guessing at it. The Philip Jeffries stuff is incomprehensible. A monkey saying Judy is completely incomprehensible. Why is that? And where it comes in the movie, he just killed his daughter. They took his pain and sorrow away and then sent him back to the world to not remember that he did it. And it's horrible. And that's why the TV show Let Him Off the Hook is different, because that Leland doesn't know for a long time that he did it. The Leland in this movie knew he was doing it. They took that away from him to feed on it.
Yeah.
So that's the way I read that. So and before you get to the scene where Laura's going to get her angel back, and kind of a promise of a better, whatever's next, there's a monkey that very quietly, because I had to turn it all the way up so you could hear it, just goes, Judy. Like, why? 25 fucking years, Pete. Well, and then when Judy gets mentioned in the return, everybody who watched this movie was like, oh, are we going to get fucking Judy answers? Like, we're not going to talk about Judy was like a joke for 2.5 decades. Because there's no fucking way to understand what was going on here.
Oh, I bet you I can understand it.
A monkey talked, and it's the least crazy thing in this movie.
This was a prequel to Planet of the Apes.
Part of me wonders if the whole point of this movie was to get 2 hours and 12 minutes in and see if anybody would find it strange a monkey spoke. Because it doesn't feel out of place at all.
Nope. Honestly, when you turn it up and the monkey talked, I was confused as to why you were doing it. I'm like, yeah, monkeys talk. What are you doing here?
It was one of the wildest things. Because I think for a long time, people didn't realize the monkey talked.
It was quiet.
It was so quiet.
Right.
But then you get better technology and people are like, this monkey fucking says Judy. I think that it actually is in the subtitles though. So probably when they got it at home, if they had the closed caption on, I think it does say
Judy.
Judy. So, but that's just like it's like hidden in there. Why is he referencing the thing that Philip Jeffries won't talk about? Believe it or not, we're going to find out.
I do believe it because I know that this.
I don't. And I've seen it and I know what it is.
I'm going to figure it out. Detective Pete on the case.
So I'm sorry that this wasn't up your alley. I thought if anyone in the world was going to like incestuous rape and murder, I thought that's a Pete movie.
Based on my internet searches, yes, but
here's what I know. Incest, rape, murder, a musical number, and it's over 90 minutes long. I thought no one in the world will enjoy this more than my friend Pete.
It is checking off all those boxes.
This is the anti-Pete movie. The only way it could be worse for you is if they were singing about the rape and incest.
I don't know if it was catchy enough.
All right. Well, we're going to do Lost Highway next week.
All right. I look forward to that one. It's got Bill Pullman.
Bill Pullman.
He gave that speech.
Patricia Arquette. Balthazar Getty.
That's not
Robert Loggia.
Balthazar Getty?
Yeah. Robert Loggia in my favorite Robert Loggia scene of all time. It might actually be one of my all-time favorite movie scenes because you'll see it.
Okay.
It's not what you think. It's not like it's almost strange for how normal it is. And I really enjoy that it's just in the middle of this movie. It's a road rage incident that is one of my favorite things I've ever seen.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. I like Lynch so far. I may not have enjoyed the movies, but I like the style. I like what he goes for.
This is my favorite one. And I feel like knowing that has changed our friendship. This is like not allowed to be my favorite one.
This is scary though. It's creepy and gross. And I'm sorry. Right. It's awesome. It's so awesome when all of these things happen. And then, oh, look, the angels are there, so it's okay.
I think what's going to happen is that you'll think about this movie a bit, and you'll be like, boy, that was really well done. And then you'll start thinking about, okay, well, what does that Judy thing mean? And then you'll just like burrow into your brain. And then when we get to the return, you'll be like, you know what I really loved? I loved Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me because it made me think about it in this world that they'd crafted for so long.
Part of it is I'm not steeped in it right now. I haven't watched anything. I haven't seen the original one since college. I haven't seen The Return.
This is a good jumping on point, though, because the only thing you really need to know is that Dale Cooper's trapped in the Black Lodge.
Yeah, and I got that.
Yeah,
but now I know
all you need to know
bit
for this,
more.
and this is more important to The Return than the original Twin Peaks even was, except for how interesting it is seeing what the town is like in 2017 compared to what it was in 91. It's very changed. And again, I feel like most people are just stuck in place, which is life.
Yeah.
But there's been nothing, we talk about the electricity and what does all that mean? There's been nothing powering Twin Peaks for 25 years. Dale Cooper is gone. Laura Palmer is gone. There's nothing, those are the dreamers, in my opinion, of the thing. So what are these people, what is your life when there's nothing, nobody's looking? I think that
I thought we found that out here. It's prostitution and drugs.
I was looking.
Yeah, I was looking too.
Yeah, we were in the last scene where she's about to be murdered. You're like, ooh, butt. Whose butt is that? Ooh, it's Laura's butt. I'm like, she's gonna be murdered in like 2 minutes.
I had to see what was going on.
All right, we'll be back next week for Lost Highway, and glad you finally watched Fire Walk with Me. It is a key. It becomes the key to, I think, both parts of Twin Peaks, both the original series and the Return. If you look at it, as will happen in the Return, like it's an infinity symbol, this is the middle part.
The number 8.
That I think keeps repeating. And we'll get into that when we get to the Return.
Okay. I'm going to have to watch this movie again, you realize, after I watch The Return. I'm going to be like, well, fuck.
Well, I mean, you're going to watch it again with your pants off because there's so many hot parts. Was that Moira Kelly being date raped on the floor? That's what you said, except you left out the bottom part.
Yeah, I just said hot.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yep. All right. This is probably the movie where I think a female character is treated the worst, where they have the most control and agency over their situation. It's like she's given back, because she wasn't even a character in the original show, she's given back all of her strength in a way that is being tortured and stripped down from her, but in some way comes out, I think, the strongest character in this series.
Is heavy.
Because she doesn't let him in, no matter what happens to her. She fights it off before the ring. The ring just means he can't go into her because then he'll get put back where he doesn't want to be. Whereas she fights him off before that. And that's strength that is built up in a way that she's been broken down to nothing, and she's still strong enough not to be consumed by the evil that men do. I think it's beautiful.
I look forward to Lost Highway. I bet you it's a lot happier.
Yeah, probably. It's not about a teenager who was getting raped by their father for 6 years and then get killed by him. Or is it?
Oh, no.
David Lynch month continues. See you next week.